We are live. I'll give everyone a couple seconds here to get in. Check my YouTube studio analytics here. We should get people in pretty soon.
Yep, here's Twitch.
Yeah,
Twitch is
yep,
up.
yep, yep. Here we go. Twitch is up. YouTube is up. Let me check Twitch chat here. We'll see if we've got some folks. Alrighty, let's get some people in here. This is the big one. This is the big one. I am so excited. Twitch is here. Hello, what is up, everyone? Twitch is showing up. We've got YouTube showing up.
Oh yeah.
Here we are. This is going to be this. Noah, you and I have been waiting for this for not just since June, because we've expected Apple Silicon for a while. We started. When was the first time that we talked about the potential of Apple using their own processors? Probably like 2016.
Probably, yeah. Long time.
You know, I think it was with the iPad Pro. The first generation iPad Pro, when that came out, I think that was when we started talking about it. Like,
Yeah.
This has been top of mind for a really, really long time. And in 1 hour, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Which is insane. Sorry, 59 minutes to be specific.
Yeah.
Oh no, 58! Let's go! We're getting close.
It is fast approaching.
It is fast approaching. Oh man. So, you may have noticed from the ticker, we are sponsored today. We are brought to you by iFixit. If you don't know iFixit, what are you doing? We talk about iFixit all the time.
Yeah.
Even before they sponsored me, Noah and I used to talk about iFixit, and we would sort of an ongoing gag of like, "Hey, iFixit, you should sponsor us." Well, guess
Yep,
what, folks? Now they have. This stream is brought to you by iFixit. Their Black Friday deals are going live now, which means you can get $10 off of their ProTech Toolkit, which I have and I love. I've had this for like 3.5 years, I think, and I've used it in any video that you see where I take something apart. This is what I use. It's legendary. You can also get $10 off their MagMat, and I've got a coupon code down below for an additional $10 off. And we'll come back to we'll mention them again right before the stream. Big thanks to them. So, this is the big one, folks. I know I've said it before, but I have been waiting. We've been teased about this event so much. We thought that we were going to get Apple Silicon in September, and then they're like, no, no, no. And then we thought we were going to get it in October, and they were like, no, 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 no. But now, we finally, after months and months of waiting, get Apple Silicon.
Yep.
Now, Noah, I know you are very frugal with your Macs. You don't tend to upgrade. You've only had a total of 3 Macs.
I've had
4.
Technically 4.
Yeah.
4, yes.
You've
Yeah.
paid for 3.
Correct.
For those of you who aren't in on the joke there, Noah, your first MacBook, which I actually have in the other room, because you gave it to me a couple of years ago when it was broken, and I repaired it on the channel. One of my first Macs on the channel, actually. 2009 13-inch unibody. That was your first MacBook. You got that one new, right?
Yeah.
And then after that was an early 2011 ill-fated 15-inch unibody.
That was a trooper. It was a trooper.
Yeah, you had that, you bought that new in 2011. And when did you sell it? Summer 2017?
Yeah.
So that was well lived. Went through a couple of logic boards,
It did.
couple of hard drives, like 6,
Yeah.
but it served you well. Unlike the 2017 MacBook, which was ill-fated, as Noah can now give a short explanation of for those who forget.
Yeah, I had a 2017 15-inch MacBook Pro. It had some bunch of weird issues like overheating and touch bar wasn't working and all kinds of different things. There's this long, like 3 month battle that I had between me, this Apple authorized service provider, and Apple themselves. It was this whole ordeal, but at the end of it, they gave me a new 2018 MacBook Pro, which is what I'm using right now. So I've been using it since 2018.
So actually, I think we're about almost exactly 2 years that
Yeah.
you've now had that computer.
Yeah.
Have you had the top case replaced?
Yes, I got it replaced in August.
Right. And isn't it sticking again?
Um, it hasn't been too bad lately, but
Take it in.
I can guarantee you that it'll happen again.
Take it in. That's
Take
how
it in.
I ended up getting a free 16-inch MacBook Pro because of a 2018. Like,
Yeah.
you can totally get that thing replaced. I mean, if you're on number 2 now, if you take it in like December, like around Thanksgiving time, then by January, February it gets stuck again. That's number 3, and then probably by the summer you'll get yourself a free Apple Silicon MacBook Pro.
You know what? That'd be okay with that.
All right, so let's talk about. Well, actually, first, because we're gonna have a special guest on the stream today. Twitter leaker Gioriku is gonna be joining us to talk about some of the things that we expect today. So we are going to go over some of that in a little bit, but first, Noah, I have been trying to get Noah to commit to buying an Apple Silicon MacBook since they talked about this in June. Where do you currently stand?
Where do I currently stand? Well, let's see. I don't think that there's going to be a replacement today for the Mac that I'm using right now. Like a 15-inch MacBook Pro kind of thing. I don't think that's coming today.
Yeah.
As far as like a secondary Mac, just to have for fun, or to have as a backup, or to even like test Apple Silicon related stuff on it, I'd consider it. I might get one for my mom because she needs a new Mac replacement. So if I do get one for her, I might experiment with it a little bit myself, but I'm not sure.
I mean, if rumors are to be believed, we could end up with an $800 MacBook.
Yeah, like the entry level one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So from what I understand, we've got somewhat conflicting info on that particular model. Some people are saying it's going to be a 12-inch MacBook, some people a 13-inch MacBook Air. Personally, I talked about this in my last video, sort of a hybrid. So the size of a 12-inch MacBook, maybe a little bit bigger, but with a 13-inch display, thus really thin bezels, fanless design. Because if you think about an A14X or whatever they end up calling it for this new computer, if it's anything like what we've seen in the iPad Pro, it doesn't need active cooling. Right. So you don't necessarily need that weird disconnected fan design of the MacBook Air, where it has a little heatsink and a fan that's next to it, but there's no heat pipe connecting them. The fan is just to kind of move air through the case. It's a suggestion of cooling more than anything, really.
Right.
You'd know that if you used your iFixit Protect toolkit to take apart a MacBook Air, like I have.
Sponsored
That's
by
a
iFixit.
sponsored by iFixit, literally.
For real this
For
time.
real this time, yeah, exactly. There were so many videos that we used to do back in the day where we would have the toolkit and be like sponsored by iFixit as like a joke, but now they're actually doing it. So yeah, hopefully, so one thing that you guys should definitely do is follow along with iFixit, because when these new Macs come out, very, very soon after, they're gonna post teardown guides. So we'll get a ton of information on, battery replacements, any sort of upgradability, because we don't really know. We have no idea what sort of upgradability we're looking at. I suspect none.
Yeah, probably none.
I don't think Apple switching to their own chips is going to translate to, oh boy, now we get upgradable RAM again. That seems unlikely. But that's one of the things. Every time there's a new Mac that comes out, I check the iFixit teardown, because that gives you an idea. Okay, here's what's different. Like with the 2020 iMac, they actually removed the Blade SSD. So you used to be able to upgrade those, but you no longer can. And so that might be important if you're shopping for an iMac. If you say, okay, I want to buy a base model and upgrade the SSD,
Right.
you could end up buying it thinking you could do that. And then, like me, you're stuck with 256 gigabytes of storage and you can't do anything about it. So it's always good to check iFixit beforehand to get an idea of what's going on. And I'm particularly interested to see the cooling architecture in these new Macs. Because, I mean, beyond iPad Pros, we don't have any idea what the new cooling system will be. If it will be needed, really.
Yeah, true.
Let's see here. I don't want to ignore Twitch chat, but we also have kind of been ignoring all of the chat. And by the way, we will, as we always do, if you do leave a super chat, we will get back to that. We'll try to go through some of the regular chat as well. So let's see here. Anyone got any good questions or suggestions here? Why don't we bring up our bingo board, shall we?
Go for it.
Someone's saying that they hope they support the Intel Macs with OS updates longer than they did with PowerPC to Intel. That's a good starting point. We'll pull up our bingo board here, because like I think it's a pretty safe bet that Intel Macs support life won't really change. 6 or 7 years is what we're currently at. Actually, as a matter of fact, we have a special guest here right now that could maybe shed some light on this.
Oh.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome.
How's it going?
Hello.
Good. We are very excited. Very excited about this.
As am I.
So you've probably got some more clues as to what we should expect than we do. So someone in Twitch chat was just asking about support life. Now I don't know if this is something that they talk about at the event, but I suspect that support life for Intel Macs is not going to change. Probably another 6 years or so.
Yeah, so I have been asking around about that. Apple, they know that the full ARM transition is coming, like everyone else does.
Mm-hmm.
But they do want to continue supporting Intel on their platform for at least a couple more generations. Just because they know not everybody is going to transfer over to ARM right away. You know, they're skeptical about it, and they want people to see their performance numbers and how they stack up against Intel compatibility and performance wise. So I think when you're looking at lifespan Intel wise, we still definitely have a handful more years that they plan on supporting Intel. That's not going anywhere anytime soon. But it's always just be on the lookout. Apple always can change, plans change, that type of thing.
Yeah. I mean, I think I could foresee it being possible that we end up with a little bit shorter lifespan on particularly the older Apple Silicon. I mean, this isn't an issue for a couple of years. If you have, let's say right now you have a 2015 MacBook, right? That's sort of in a middle ground of, okay, is this going to get 7 years of support or 5? I mean, already we're at 5, so I think that's a pretty good clue. But I think it's possible that we could end up with, once you get sort of 3 or 4, maybe 5 years deep into Apple Silicon, they might start like cutting off the older Intel stuff a little bit more aggressively. But I mean, it's Apple, and it's new Apple. I think the point, a lot of people were afraid that it was going to be like the switch to Intel, where a lot of the late PowerPC Macs only got like 2 years of support before they got booted. Even some of the early Intel had Core Duo, not Core 2 Duo, and those were dropped a lot more early than the Core 2 Duos, which were 64-bit. But I don't think that's something that we have to worry about in the modern age of Apple. Because, I mean, in the 2000s, 3 or 4 years was kind of normal, whereas Apple in recent years has normalized this 5 to 8 year support life. So I think they would face, I think it would do them more harm than good to cut that short, and they know that.
Right. I think I could see them being a bit more aggressive with the older models, trying to sort of taper them off, and perhaps even that convinces people to upgrade. But if you just got like a 2020 MacBook Pro and it's only gonna get 2 years of updates, like people are gonna be mad about that. And I don't think Apple would do that. I do think that they'll support Intel for at least a couple years. And the other point about like people are skeptical, they want to see the performance and all that. It's a really good point. And then also just the point about people buy these new computers, they want them to last, they expect them to last. Apple, I think, is going to be reasonable with their support.
Someone in let me just pull up a super chat here. Are the new MacBooks going to include the chargers? I think so. It's a funny question, but I think it's a question that people probably have. The first hint to the answer of that is the iPads still come with chargers. So I don't think that there's any reason to think that Macs won't, especially since iPhones are sort of an upgrade thing, a frequent upgrade for a lot of people. Mm-hmm. Even though they're supported for a long time, a good amount of people will do a 2 or a 3 year cycle. So it's a little bit more. It's a bit easier to assume that people have an iPhone charger, but they definitely won't be guaranteed to have a MacBook charger, especially since when you are done with a MacBook, chances are you want to sell it with the charger and get the most money out of it. Not a lot of people, when they upgrade their MacBook, just leave the old one kicking around when it's worth a couple $100.
And I think what people are kind of overlooking, I think, when they ask if it's going to include the charger, is that it's like you said, it's not on a like year by year upgrade basis. People are going to hold on to their MacBooks, and Apple knows you're not going to want to buy a charger for what can be most people's, main workstations even. Mm-hmm. So, they don't want to leave you without a charger and wonder why people are getting mad that they can't charge their MacBooks and they have to buy it extra. It's meant to be a professional tool. Unlike, I think they know the split between the Pro set on the iPhone versus the actual professional use case of a MacBook.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, here's another question, sort of in a similar vein. Wow, this chat is completely covering up McGuire's little box there. Anyway, is this the end of the somewhat repairable Mac? I think the somewhat repairable Mac ended a long time ago. Yeah. I mean, even if you look at Intel, for the MacBook especially, it's been since 2016. It's been the same. No storage upgrades, no RAM upgrades. That's not going to change. I think the big question here is for desktops. Are we going to get some sort of a socketed Apple Silicon? Maybe not for the iMac. I think the days of repairable and upgradable iMacs are probably over. But the Mac Pro, I can't see Apple making a Mac Pro that is not upgradable. That seems incompatible with the identity of what a Mac Pro actually is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely agree. I do believe, given that MacBooks as it is are a nightmare to repair in any aspect already, we can just kiss upgradability on those goodbye. Mm-hmm. As for the iMac, I think we'll be lucky if we're able to upgrade the RAM. Mm-hmm. I know for a fact ARM on iMac is definitely going to be socketed. The Mac Mini is going to stay the same as the iMac will, where I'm telling you it's just going to be a socketable RAM, and you're not going to be able to swap the CPU. But definitely for the Mac Pro, I can definitely see Apple having as an option through partners the ability to buy an upgrade kit for the Mac Pro, and that lets you upgrade your Apple Silicon down the line. Because I don't see them changing things like the pinout or the socket arrangement, anything like that, into the future.
Interesting. So between generations, they sort of like with Ryzen, where you can put a newer generation in an older system. You think that could be possible with a Mac Pro?
I definitely think that's what Apple is going to shoot for. Just given their history of how long they want to support updates and the fact that the Mac Pro is a truly professional grade machine, given its price already, they're not going to want to cut people short on being able to upgrade that system into the future.
And here's another thought, actually. So, okay, how about this? Chew on this in your minds here, chat, and you guys. So, in the past, Apple has had a vested interest in preventing people from upgrading because when you upgrade, like, for example, I'm right now using the 2020 iMac, and about 2 months ago, I upgraded it to 64 gigabytes of RAM, and I put in a Core i7, thanks to iFixit, the sponsor for that video and today's video. And the thing is, for Apple, when I did that upgrade, they got no money out of that. That was an Intel processor and third-party RAM. They did not make any money off of that. But in a situation where Apple controls the ecosystem and you could maybe buy upgrade modules like a new processor through them, they are then making a sale in your upgrade. So they have a reason to want that because it's still something that they're going to profit from. So if you have an iMac, for example, I know a lot of people keep iMacs for a long time and want to upgrade them so they don't have to buy a new iMac. Apple, up to now, doesn't like that because when you upgrade your older Mac, they don't get any money. But if they're selling you the processor that you're going to upgrade with, maybe they're not as bothered by the fact that you're not buying a whole new Mac if you're going to buy upgrades for it from them directly.
Definitely. It's definitely something that I can firmly say Apple knows what they would be able to get out of a program like that, even if it's only available to, say like enterprise customers at first. They know that people would gladly take a system like that over them buying parts on their own.
Yeah, that's definitely... All right, hang on. We got another Super Chat question. This one I think is a shoo-in. We've heard of some rumors of this, actually, about a Final Cut Pro for iPad. Mm-hmm. That is something that I think a lot of people have been wanting since like 2018 with this generation of iPad Pro and would really open a lot of doors for people, I think.
Here's what I will say. First of all, I can guarantee that they have their Pro apps running on ARM already.
Oh yeah,
they've had plenty of time to work on this. They have, and they wouldn't be launching a Mac if their Pro apps weren't ready and they didn't work. Whether or not we'll see them today, I feel like that would be a pretty good demo if they had Final Cut Pro running natively. That would be like a great demo for them to include. Maybe we won't see it today, but they're definitely ready, and they'll definitely come. At the very latest, they'll be launched alongside the first Apple Silicon Macs. But I guess as far as like the apps running on the iPad, I'd say maybe. I know that Apple recently introduced the feature where you can buy on one platform, like you buy on iOS, and you get the Mac version for free. So I could see that where if you own Final Cut Pro on the Mac, the iPad version will show up for you. I will say the Magic Keyboard with the trackpad would be great for Final Cut, and that's a fairly new product. I guess that was, earlier this year? So I could definitely see it happening, especially since they have a good excuse now with the Mac. But definitely have it ready for the Mac. iPad, maybe. That's what I'd say.
Yeah, I think so. For as far as the iPad, I don't think there's any issue in running Apple apps on ARM. They're gonna release whatever Mac comes out is going to line up with every single Apple app working on that. That was something they didn't do for Intel, which got them into a little bit of trouble early on because they didn't have Aperture and Final Cut running natively on Intel. When it came out, the first MacBook Pro was running Final Cut Pro through Rosetta. So it was actually slower than on PowerPC. They're not going to make that mistake again. So the issue is not running it on ARM. The issue, I think, is optimizing the interface to run on an iPad and actually be usable. So that's probably what they're working on. Now, we've been called out. Are we starting the bingo board? I think we need to start the bingo board. Yes. Otherwise, we've got 35 minutes here, and we've got to fill this thing up. So, McGuire, I'll give you the first crack at this. What are some of the things that you expect to see at this event?
So we definitely expect to see the ARM Max. That's a given. I do expect them to, at least in some extent, either point out that they are working on bringing like the Adobe suite over to ARM for things like iPad, not necessarily iPhone, I don't think.
Okay.
And definitely the new Apple Silicon Max. And I honestly feel like we might see AirPod Studio at this event, at least announced to some extent.
Really?
Okay, that's interesting. So why don't we put up? Let's put some of this on the board. So why don't we do Adobe Suite compatibility? We could put that somewhere. We could do. Why don't we add AirPods Studio teaser, something like that. Not necessarily. I mean, it's probably not going to launch at this event. I don't think it'll launch this year, even. But maybe they'll talk about it. What about AirTags? What do you think about AirTags?
Personally, so we've seen a lot. I don't know. I think you guys saw yesterday. Fudge tweeted a photo of a supposed carrier, like a leather carrier for AirTags, that would clip onto like a bag or backpack. So I definitely think we will be seeing something about AirTags at this event. It's been rumored for months. Apple's accidentally leaked it themselves. I think we're definitely going to see it at this event, but I don't think it's going to be as big of a thing as people might expect it to be.
Interesting.
It might just be more of an accompaniment, like towards the second half of the presentation, in like more of an accessories section style thing.
Okay, so let's put AirTags up there. We won't get too specific, but I think if they talk about it at all, that would be considered a success.
Right. Yeah, really.
So, okay, how about naming schemes for the Apple Silicon? Is it going to be A14X or is it going to be something else?
Okay, so I've asked around. I haven't tweeted anything about it specifically because everyone I ask is split on what it's going to be. Some of them straight up just say they don't know. I've heard A14X in the base model MacBook Pro, and then it's going to be like a different naming scheme after that. But I know they have all of the kind of conventional naming schemes used up already. But like they've proven earlier in the year with MagSafe, they aren't necessarily afraid to go back on something.
True.
And use that name for something new. So if they did go back on a name, I'm thinking they'd probably go with M series. That's what I've heard floating around a lot.
Because they killed off the Motion coprocessor. They stopped. I think that one. That's my top pick for naming scheme. Having like M14, just because they killed off. They stopped using the Motion coprocessor branding in 2016 or 17. I don't remember if it was the A10 or the 11 where they did that. But retrospectively, I suppose, if you look back at some of the stuff that was saying, 2016, 17, Apple was really frustrated with Intel's quality and they weren't hitting their targets, and that's when they started really seriously thinking about Apple Silicon. So it seems more than coincidental that they stopped using that M branding at the same time frame that they started thinking about switching to Apple Silicon.
Definitely.
That could be hearsay, but that's what I've been thinking. So why don't we try both ways? Why don't we put like M14 and then A14X as well?
We've got someone in Twitch chat, Charlie123. He says, "Please answer me, Luke. I want to know, what have we heard / know about the keyboard? Are we expecting an attempted revival of the butterfly mechanism or just the Magic Keyboard?"
Oh yeah. I don't. I've heard both from people. I mean, on the one hand, that kind of goes hand in hand with the somewhat old rumor at this point that the entry-level MacBook is going to be a 12-inch MacBook. Mark Gurman, I think last week, said that no, it was actually going to be a MacBook Air that looks almost identical to what we currently have.
Yep.
Do you think that's true? Do you think it's going to be a MacBook Air visually identical?
I think there might be small visual differences, but all things considered, I would call it virtually identical to the current Mac we have.
See, I don't know. I've just been very. I mean, we haven't had a lot of details about the design, which is evidence that there isn't a lot of detail out there about the design. We've heard a lot about the iMac, which I don't know if we'll get at this event or not. My gut says no, but I don't know. In terms of apparently they have been working on a butterfly keyboard revival, but at this point, I don't think that would be at this event. I could see a MacBook Air with a smaller footprint, very slightly, and thus smaller bezels, maybe a little bit thinner, and removing the fan. That's kind of what I'm thinking at this point. Does that sound plausible?
That definitely sounds to me like what they would more than likely go with. Because I don't think they would bring back the butterfly mechanism this early, let alone at this event, just after all of the issues. I would genuinely be surprised if they re-released that butterfly switch without fixing the initial issues people were having with the keys breaking just because of dust.
Yeah.
You know?
I think it might be another year or so before they do, and I don't think they would even call it a butterfly keyboard. I think
they would more than
some
likely
sort
rebrand.
of next generation hybrid between the Magic Keyboard and the Butterfly Keyboard. But I don't think that Butterfly Keyboard is going to come back today. I think that would be shooting themselves in the foot, so to speak. Because it'd be like, look at this crazy new, whoa, cool, powerful. Oh, and also it's the Butterfly Keyboard, and then everyone's like, yeah, no thanks.
Yeah.
Okay, we got a lot to fill up here. I'm gonna read through the chat here. Noah, do you have anything that you've been thinking of? And we don't necessarily need to play it safe here. We can try some very specific things if there's anything that you had in mind.
Rounded corners on the screen to match the rounded corners of Big Sur.
Yeah, put that in there.
I don't think it's going to happen, but there's a crazy idea.
That would be very cool.
That also leads into another thing I see a lot of Twitch chat. People are asking whether we're going to see the possible Grandmaster for Big Sur today.
Uh-huh.
I know I tweeted about it a little bit ago. I've been told to expect an announcement for Big Sur today. Obviously, it makes sense. New Macs push the major macOS update alongside them.
Yeah, so I think
to be fair, iOS 14 launched before the new iPhones this year.
That's true.
And also, I think the release candidate for Big Sur came out, and I think they just renamed Goldmaster to release candidate to get rid of that like master terminology. That's kind of like a big thing that's been happening in tech lately. But I think it did come out.
All right, so why don't we let's put rounded corners on the display. Let's put that one up there. Bit of a stretch, but let's see. Let's put Big Sur release imminent. Okay. I've also got another one here more specific to the hardware, and that is $200 price drop. This is one that I think is very interesting because basically, and we've heard about this starting in August, I think. Basically, MacBook Air is $999, MacBook Pro is $1399. This rumor purports that it will now be $799 and $1099. That, if that happens, people are gonna lose their mind.
That will definitely be the big seller of these new Macs is the price point, definitely.
So you think it's gonna happen? A $200 drop?
I can honestly see them dropping the price because they don't have to pay Intel for the silicon anymore.
Yeah.
So they can redirect that cost going back into their own silicon. And it might seem small, but companies pay Intel a lot for their silicon. So
Intel charges, I think, for their 10th gen Core i5 U series, like you would get in the 4 Thunderbolt port MacBook Pro, it's like $350, which is ludicrous. And I'm sure there's some sort of a discount when you buy it in bulk, but it's unbelievably expensive. Whereas I've read reports that the A12 and thus A13 and now the A14 cost between $20 and $30 to make. So that's why you get an A13 and an iPhone SE and nobody bats an eyelash, because they're not that expensive to make. And in the iPhones, obviously, they don't really pass the cost savings on to us. But in a MacBook, I don't see why they wouldn't. And it also opens the door for mini LED displays without increasing the price.
True. I don't see. It's interesting though, because if you're gonna lower the price, if you're gonna make the entry level Mac cost, I mean that's iPad Pro territory easily. And then the question becomes, are they gonna cut into iPad Pro sales too much? Obviously, they're different devices. They have different uses, but there's a lot of overlap, especially with the Magic Keyboard now. That's making the iPad into more of a computer, and the Mac, the Apple Silicon Mac, can run iPad apps on it, right?
Absolutely.
It doesn't have a touch screen. I don't think it'll have a touch screen, obviously, but
maybe eventually.
They're merging together so much that if Apple lowers the price to iPad Pro territory, then it becomes kind of hard for the consumer. Like, which one are you gonna buy? I don't know. It's just interesting. Like, that's the one reason why I think they might not do it, or they might not want to do it. But I don't know.
So let's add a $200 price drop to our bingo board here. Why don't we also go ahead and add 13-inch MacBook Pro? I know a lot of people have been hoping for a 14-inch. I think that'll happen, but not today.
No, I definitely don't expect it to happen today either. If anything, Apple, with them launching this stuff now, I think they know that they kind of need some more filler content for WWDC of next year. Which, we know they're going to be releasing new stuff then, but they don't want to push everything all at once.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So why don't we, and actually, speaking of that, do you think there's going to be the new iMac today? Maybe it won't launch today, but maybe announced? What do you think?
I think, personally, if anything, we'll see an announcement, but I'm very skeptical about that, because that's a big release for them. That's definitely a big release. And I know they've been internally talking a lot. They just want to ease people into it slowly, get people used to it. And dropping a new series of MacBooks and transitioning the iMac over, even if still giving the Intel option, that's going to be a lot for people all at once.
Okay. So we're thinking maybe, I mean, I had thought that March sounded about right for a new iMac.
Right.
And I suppose there's no reason to think, especially now with COVID, that we won't have more events than we usually do.
Right. Apple's definitely been changing things up this year, so there isn't really much of a pattern we can go off of this time around.
Exactly.
True.
So another thing that people are talking about, so we've got 13-inch MacBook Pro. Why don't we put MacBook Air up there? The other thing that we've heard about is the 16-inch MacBook Pro, and I know some people have been thinking that it's going to be Apple Silicon. Personally, I don't, because I think we need the Apple Silicon GPU, the dedicated graphics, which are going to come later. So I think Intel for the 16-inch. What do you think, you guys?
I don't know about Noah. Personally, I definitely think it's just going to be another Intel refresh at this event. Because like you said, Apple working on their GPU tech, they plan on putting it into their first, gives a good demonstration of what they're capable of. But that's just me.
No, yeah. I definitely agree that they would start. I mean, they want to start with some of the, lower power things. Even the 13-inch MacBook Pro is a good start, but I agree. I almost wonder, are they going to talk about the 16-inch upgrade in the event, or do you think that would just be a press release kind of thing? Because it seems kind of weird to focus on Apple Silicon so much and then say, oh, here's an Intel Mac as well. It seems like it may not quite fit, but I suppose they could just mention it briefly. I'm not sure.
Here's what I'm thinking. So if they do talk about it at the event, I think for one, I think it's very plausible for them to not talk about it at all and just website refresh it later today or even tomorrow. Right. That's plausible. If they do talk about it at the event, it'll be like they'll talk about the Apple Silicon and then they'll say at the very end they'll be like, and this rounds out our the best MacBook lineup we've ever had, including the new 16-inch MacBook Pro with updated configurations. You know, they used to do that like with the Retina MacBook Pro at WWDC. They just sort of tacked it on at the end and didn't press release it, but also didn't really talk about it at the event. So I could see that being possible here. The other thing that's going to be interesting to see is, from what I've heard and from what we've seen in terms of leaked benchmarks, I think my video back in August where I predicted some pretty nuts performance out of these chips might be pretty accurate. We could be looking at Core i9 level performance in these things, which Definitely. Is nuts.
Yeah, it's crazy to think about that. You know, we know that Apple's been working on this for a while. They've been brewing it up for a bit now. But to be able to push on their first ARM release outside of the developer transition kit, Core i9 levels of performance in a MacBook first go would be insane. That would be unprecedented even for them.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be nuts. Here's why don't we, because we got to get some of these things up here. So let's put 16-inch Intel MacBook Pro up there. The other thing that I'm wondering about is the cores. So I know we've talked about this on Twitter a couple of times about an 8 and a 12 core variant. Are we going to see that 12 core chip, or is that a desktop chip for the iMac that we're not going to see today?
I've asked around about it. People haven't been able to give me a solid answer, and that one doesn't surprise me. But I think we're probably just going to see an 8-core variant today. If we do see the 12-core variant, then I think it's just, we know what to expect in the iMac at that point. It wouldn't exactly surprise me per se to see a 12-core variant today, but I would definitely, I definitely look at it like, oh, I wasn't expecting that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, that's not necessarily. I mean, if we're talking about an 8-core design with the big little configuration that we currently have in the A12X and the A12Z, right, which is 4 high performance, 4 efficiency, that's going to translate to insane performance just by scaling up. I mean, if you just take an A12X and you just scale up the performance by using A14 cores, literally just doing that, you get to basically the same figure that I came up with back in August, because the A14 is about 40% better than an A12. So an A12X would be, or an A14X would be about 40% better than an A12X, which is already sort of 6-core i7 level, getting up there, sometimes maybe a high-end quad-core. So it does not take a lot of stretch of the imagination to think that this 8-core chip could be rivaling the likes of an i9, which is bonkers.
Definitely.
That is true, but I want to temper expectations and just say that if we're getting the entry-level stuff, and this also leads into another discussion I wanted to have, which is on battery life, because that's a big thing that's going to happen, and that's also something that Apple likes to talk about. But with these entry-level machines, like Apple, I feel like they would err on the side of more battery life and less performance.
You're definitely right.
And if they start off with i9 performance, where are they going to go for the Pro level, even up to the... Remember, they got to go from... This is the very bottom of the tier, and then you got the Mac Pro up here, you got the iMac Pro, you got the iMac, the 16-inch. There's like so much range that you can't start at i9. Now, can they get i9 performance? Do they have chips that can do that? I'm sure they do. Are we going to see them today? I don't think so, because they need somewhere to go up. I think, and something that I might want to put on the bingo board is, I think that they're going to talk about the battery life. I don't know if it's going to be crazy better because they want to get good performance as well. But I do think that they're going to make a point about the battery life.
I think 15 to 20 hours is a pretty good ballpark.
Yeah, and that's an improvement. So I definitely
Absolutely.
think
Let's put that up on the board. 15 to 20 hours of battery life. And I think you're right. Battery life could be an emphasis. They're not going to just go for like a gaming PC that's shaped like a MacBook Air, obviously. This is
definitely
Apple.
not.
So I think that's a safe bet. It's also, I could see it being possible that, if we have a 13-inch MacBook Pro and a 13-inch MacBook Air, maybe the MacBook Air is fanless. The MacBook Pro, from what we've heard, is going to retain much of the same thermal architecture, which could mean that ends up being higher performance because you can sustain loads a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
So even
Right.
with the same chip, I would suspect the 13-inch MacBook Pro will be more powerful.
Yeah, I definitely know it's like they did with 5G at the last event. I definitely think they're going to focus on battery life as kind of a big part of this one. ARM chips historically consume less battery than any of their x86 counterparts. So it's definitely something that I expect to see.
Yeah. Just as an update here, as we're finishing up our bingo board, we are getting in about 15 minutes left until the actual event. So I do want to update you guys on what exactly the plan is, because I've seen some people in Twitch chat asking if we're going to stay up here. I think Jiraku's got to go, but Noah and I are going to stay. The stream is going to continue. We can't embed Apple's actual broadcast in our stream here, but we are going to... for the first couple of minutes, we'll talk through what we're looking at so that you guys can sync up the stream in another browser window. So we encourage you guys to stick around. We'll also be back after the event itself, so you'll definitely want to see that. Yeah. So if anyone has any questions, and I'll mention that right before the actual stream starts. Currently, Apple there's like a generator that's going, and they've got some ambient music, which is very soothing. Noah and I are screen sharing, so we can hear that. If you guys, you don't have to pull it up yet because it's going to be a couple of minutes here, and we'll give you guys some clues to sync it up. So that's basically the plan for our coverage here. I know some of you guys might, want to go watch the stream and then come back. We're going to try not to be we're not going to talk the entire time. We're gonna let the stream play out here and just kind of give our reactions. But we do encourage you guys to stick around. It'll be a lot of fun. At this point, I also want to thank iFixit for sponsoring the stream. It means a lot to me that they support the content, especially in a live format. There's a lot of trust that goes into sponsoring a live video where you don't have as much. You can't say, "All right, go back and change that." So hopefully we've done them proud. iFixit's Black Friday sale is starting now. So I know it's a little bit ahead of Black Friday, but you can take advantage of that to get $10 off their ProTech toolkit, which I've said it again I've said it before and I'll say it again, is the best thing that you could have if you're doing repairs. I bought this thing like 4 years ago and I use it all the time. So you can check them out with the link that's in the description of this stream. You can get $10 off with their sale. You can also get an additional $10 off with coupon code Luke10. So that will give you $20 off. That's a pretty big discount. So if you need to upgrade any of your Macs, any of your remaining upgradable Intel Macs, got to upgrade those before they get sent off in favor of the new stuff that's not going to be upgradable.
Yeah.
Now's the time to buy those parts. They've also got repair guides, teardowns. You can buy replacement parts, genuine parts. That's where I've gotten a lot of RAM, displays, batteries. Batteries are a big one. If you're going to buy a new MacBook battery, iFixit is a great place to do it because you don't end up with those really terrible third-party batteries. I don't know if you've ever seen, Noah, the batteries that are so bad that there's usually they'll have a tiny little lithium-ion battery, and then they're just surrounded by sand to make the battery feel heavier. Have you ever seen those? Yeah,
I
really
haven't,
bad.
but I believe you.
Really bad. It's so embarrassing.
I've only come across that when looking for trusted battery suppliers once. I buy all mine from iFixit now.
Yeah.
Even sometimes I have issues with the cheap batteries programming them so that you can see battery health. Some of them just don't program properly.
Oh no, they're awful. And they can. The same thing with third-party chargers as well. They can. I don't remember the exact reason, but a lot of them use really cheap PCBs, and the way that they're designed, you end up with the voltage coming in from the wall right next to the voltage going into your MacBook. So that can bridge and short, and then you basically just send your full wall power straight into your MagSafe port if you have an older MacBook, or your USB-C port, and you can literally just like, boom, toast the entire thing. So yeah, if you're buying batteries or chargers, you don't want to cheap out on those. I always buy from iFixit when I'm doing those replacements. Check out the link below. Big thanks to them for sponsoring the event. Now, we're under 10 minutes here, and we need really badly to fill up this bingo board. We've got 4 slots left. So chat.
I see in
Twitch
chat. I see in Twitch chat some people are talking about possible LTE support. I haven't heard anything. But that might be a good one that Apple could do, like a surprise thing, surprise LTE support maybe.
I could see that being possible. That would be interesting.
I was actually reading an article earlier today. I think it was on The Verge. They were basically saying, as far as cellular support, first of all, with the Apple Silicon, that they have, they have all the modems in like the iPhones. And if it's Apple Silicon, they can sort of just, I guess, use the same modems and interface with them in a similar way. And there was another part to that. I don't know. It's definitely a possibility. I guess I'd say I'd be kind of surprised if it happens, but we could see it.
I mean, I think it's I don't know. It seems logical. I don't know if that it would definitely be a pay extra situation like it with the iPads. Mm-hmm. So you would be able to opt into that, probably for $130 or whatever it ends up being. But that would be interesting. So, actually, okay, here's another thought. If we're looking at a $799 price point, I know someone in Twitch chat was asking about a budget Mac. So $799, I think that would qualify as a budget Mac compared to what we've had. That's the cheapest MacBook ever by a wide margin. So in that base configuration, would it be 128 or 256 gigabytes of storage?
Oh, that's a good
one.
Because
the iPad Pro is 128, remember, for the same price. So I think if they do that, 128 might be the move. They might do 128 for $799, 256 for $899.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, definitely.
Something to think on.
Like, because even the MacBook Airs right now, what do they start at?
256.
They start at 256. That's interesting.
So I think if they do drop the price, they'd probably drop the storage just to maintain configuration continuity.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Someone's asking Face ID. I think that's definitely possible, but not today.
Yeah, it's happening in the future, but it's definitely not something that's happening today. We would have seen reference through Big Sur a long time ago.
That's a good point.
We definitely would have seen something through Big Sur quite a while ago at this point. Next year, there's definitely a chance, I could say, but we're definitely not seeing it at this event.
Do you think the iMac will have Face ID?
I could see it. I could see the iMac having Face ID. The MacBooks would definitely... Sense. Yeah, the iMacs, I could see possibly even coming first.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I think it would be pretty... I don't want to say easy, because obviously I'm not a product designer and I don't have any idea how it works, but comparatively, if they can put Face ID in an iPad Pro that has to work at any orientation, it's got to turn all around like that.
Right.
An iMac is probably the easiest implementation of Face ID, because you're always going to be looking straight at it. It's always going to be the same orientation. You're very rarely even going to be off angle like you would with an iPhone. Like, it seems so straightforward. I'm quite frankly surprised that in the past 3 years that we've had Face ID, it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, it's definitely something that I'm also surprised they haven't done yet. It's always with Apple, it's a range thing, getting it to work at longer and
Yeah.
longer ranges. And at the range that the average user would be sitting at, they were having trouble. I'm sure that's probably fixed now, and it's just in testing. But it was
Yeah.
definitely a thing
That's a
beforehand.
good point. That's a
That-
good point, because like when you hold up your iPhone, if I hold my iPhone at the same distance as my camera here on the webcam, okay, well actually it did unlock, so that's a good distance. It's definitely further away. I mean, you not a lot of people are out here like unlocking their phones at that kind of range here, but you would be
Right.
doing that with an iMac, so it would have to work fairly reliably at a longer range. So that's a good point. I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah.
All right, we've got
Alright,
three more
Three
things.
more. We got
Someone said
Three more.
product red Mac. That reminds me of different colors. Could we get different colors? I don't know about product red. That would be maybe a bit loud, but
yeah.
could maybe there
Like
could be
the
different
sky
colors.
blue kind of color, like that.
You know?
like the
Right?
iPad Air colors.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I would definitely. I could. While I haven't heard anything, I could honestly see Apple doing something like that. I could definitely do it, at least on the Air. You know.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the Air seems like it's like the more fun.
Right.
In the
it's like
same
a
way that the
prime
iPad
example
Air
for that.
gets the colors, the iPad Pro does not. Why don't we put that up there? Put colorful Macs. I like that.
And I feel like I feel like it would be kind of a cute thing to be like, because like the really old, like the classic iMacs was like the cubes or whatever that were different colors or
Right.
whatever.
Yeah.
If they're doing like this big transition to sort of like go back to their past a little bit and like have the colors, like I don't know, that could be like a cute thing. I don't know if it'll happen.
I would
but
like
it
that.
It would be nice.
Yeah, definitely.
That would be great.
All right.
So,
two
let's see
more,
here, two more. We only have 4 minutes.
Oh jeez, 3 minutes. 3 minutes.
I'm able to stay on. I'm in queue for Destiny 2 right now. Servers are full, so I've got a while. I've got a while
right.
to go.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Alright.
I mean, we'll be pretty low key once the actual event gets started here. Once again, if there's anyone that's new, I know that we've got a bit of a spike here in concurrent viewers. If you're just joining us, we are going to be giving reactions through the actual event, and we'll give you cues to sync up in another window. If I tried to embed the stream in our stream, Tim Cook himself would come over here and beat me, and I would never be able to upload again. So we're not able to do that. I know people have been like, "Why aren't you doing that?" I was like, "Well, if you want me to continue to have a YouTube channel, that's the way it's going to be." So yeah, we'll give you guys cues to sync up the stream, and we'll be doing our reactions here. I know Noah and I are gonna have a lot of reactions to this because this is huge
Yeah,
for
no
us.
no spoilers. I've obviously I've been hearing stuff, but no spoilers. I think people are gonna like it. I definitely think people are gonna like it.
Ooh. I mean, honestly, there's always going to be people disappointed because everyone, for whatever reason, thinks that the entire world is going to change every time there's an Apple event. So
Oh yeah.
don't
Oh,
expect.
There's always one. There's
Yeah,
always one.
you got to maintain your expectations. I've released a couple of videos in the past couple of weeks trying to be like, all right, let's not get our expectations and our hype get
Right,
away
let's,
from us
let's
here.
let's temper it a little bit. You know, if anything, you're more excited afterwards.
Yeah,
I don't see any.
exactly.
I don't see any negatives to that. Yeah.
Yeah, true.
So why don't we have these last two? Why don't we go for sort of like event conventions? Like, are we going to see Craig Federighi? Are we going to see Johnny Sruji talking about
People, Twitch
chip
chat's
design?
all about Craig right now.
Twitch chat?
See, Craig's the
Twitch
software
chat's
guy,
all
though.
about Craig.
Craig
I don't
is
know if
Big
we-
Sur, but we're going to talk about Big Sur to some extent. Wait, actually, I just remembered they promoted this event on their developer page.
True. Okay, so here's what I will say. I want to put up there that we'll take another trip to the Apple Silicon thing at the
Their
the
lab?
underground bunker.
Yeah.
Do you think we'll go back
Yeah.
there? I think we might.
I think
could
so.
I could definitely see us going back there. Yeah.
Let's all right, so let's do our last two. Let's put Craig and the chip bunker. And that'll round out our bingo board.
Sweet. We've got Volts PC in Twitch chat saying 1080p webcam. Webcam upgrades, as always, I think we can expect. But
Good.
that's kind of just a given. That's kind of just a given.
It should have been a given a long time ago,
Yeah.
to
It
be
should have
clear.
been given quite a long time ago.
Oh man. All right, we are 1 minute. So right now on Apple's stream, we've still got this generator, which I think looks it's very, very calming. I might want to save
Definitely.
this. This could be an Apple TV background or a screensaver.
Yeah.
I could definitely see people ripping it and putting it up as that for sure.
Very calming. So,
We've
by
got
the way, for
Cheyenne
everyone,
3342 in Twitch chat saying Apple Glass. You're a couple years too early.
yeah, it's gonna be
You're
a while.
few years too early.
It's gonna be a while on that one. Oh, is the music winding down here? It might be.
Sounds
Okay.
like it might be.
So Noah, you're watching, right?
Yeah, I got it up.
Okay, so we're watching from Apple's website right now. All right, the music is definitely winding down.
Yeah, it's definitely get quiet.
Okay, it stopped. Okay, we're about to go. We're
Oh,
zooming
here
in
we
on the
go.
Apple logo. Oh,
This is so exciting.
we've got a musical introduction as Apple is known to do. And as usual, it's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
I think that's the Steve Jobs Theater. It's
Yeah.
those are the shape of
Yeah.
Apple campus. There's the rainbow arches.
Yep. There it is.
Ooh,
This is so cool.
I
It's
love
so
these.
good.
I love these videos.
They're so well done.
All right, here we are. There it is. Whoa, I didn't even realize they had those gigantic doors
Oh,
on
that's so cool.
the cafeteria.
Last
Look how
time they used
empty.
those doors, I believe, was the iPhone 10 announcement.
Really?
Oh, really?
I believe so.
Those are humongous.
Yeah,
Holy
that's
moly.
insane.
Here's Tim.
Papa Tim.
There he is.
Yes.
Tim is
Good
among us here.
morning.
Good morning. He said hello and welcome back. Close enough. So are we, Tim. We are so excited. The teams have not stopped innovating on an unbelievable pace of new product releases.
Starting with
I'm
OS.
giving cues to get synced up here for everyone. Apple Watch.
Fitness Plus right now.
I think you're ahead of us.
I
Slightly
skipped.
ahead.
I pushed my streams. We're straight ahead.
We're at Apple One. I guess I'm just going to leave it here. People can sync it up because
Sync up
there's
from
going to
there.
be a stream delay on our end anyway.
Yeah.
Definitely.
HomePod Mini. iPhone 12 and iPhone 12 Pro. How's everyone doing here in the chat? You guys synced up? Yeah, the Mini and the Pro Max are shipping this Friday. It's going to be a really busy. Ooh, one more thing. He said it.
Oh, Mac.
boy.
Here
The
we
Mac.
go.
Let's
Yeah,
go.
Mac.
Let's go.
Woo!
Here comes the usual bloviating about how great the Mac is. Let's get into the
30%
new
last
stuff.
quarter. Wow.
Yeah.
You know, they've really killed it with the Mac. Wow, 50% of buyers are new? That's pretty high.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
That's insane. There's more proof that they're not getting rid of the charger.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
Hmm. Okay.
Okay.
So, oh, look!
Okay.
I always like that when they do these videos about the Mac, they're not the newest Macs.
Yeah.
Like, these are all old generation MacBook Airs
Yep.
that they're showing here. That's the cinema display.
Oh, we got a. Yep. So I was gonna say
15-inch
display.
Retina.
Yeah.
Wait,
Oh,
that's
there we
the,
go. There's my Mac.
That was the original. They showed the original MacBook Pro,
Yeah.
2006. There's another Retina.
There's the Maple from
The Maple from The Simpsons. Oh, there's a butterfly keyboard.
Everyone's favorite.
11-inch MacBook Air.
All right,
Nice
back
video.
to Tim.
Oh, he's teleported up now.
Oh wow. He ran all the way up there while the video was playing.
The Mac has taken another huge leap. Oh my god, this is so exciting.
Here we go.
Boy.
Oh man. Well, here it is.
All right, we got John.
Oh.
Wait, you're ahead of us. Slow down.
Yeah, wait,
Right,
don't-
forgot about that.
Oh, are we going to the
Whoa.
lab? I think we are.
I think we are.
Chipmunker.
Look at the different
Oh.
colors.
Oh
You
yeah.
see all the
you're-
different
yeah.
colors? I wonder if
Oh,
that's
that's interesting.
an homage
Yeah.
to the original iMac colors. Here we are in the secret bunker. Advanced technologies. I'm giddy. I'm literally giddy right now.
Yeah.
This is nuts. Next generation of Mac. And HomePod.
Yeah.
Incredible performance, custom technologies, and power efficiency. Oh boy, a family of chips. That's what they said in June. Our first step.
Oh,
Oh.
Ooh, they're talking about the chip first.
Oh.
M1. We were right with the M.
M.
Nice.
Let's go.
Oh man.
Wow.
And they started at one, so they're not
M1.
syncing the
M1.
generations.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
All right. I
Holy
marked it off on the
crap.
bingo board.
Interesting
'cause,
choice.
give
Interesting
it to
choice.
us. I think it makes sense. Oh, this is the lab. All right, I'm marking
We've
off
got-
the lab.
Well, we
The
were kind of
bunker.
close with it. Oh yeah, the bunker. Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Oh man. M1.
No. Oh,
Smaller
I see where
logic
they're going.
boards.
I see where they're going with this. Okay.
It's gonna be tiny.
This is gonna be the smallest little board I've ever seen.
Yeah.
You know, that would also give them room for upgradable RAM, but I'm not gonna
Not gonna
expect
hold your breath.
that. I'm not gonna expect that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, no upgradable RAM there.
No.
Nope.
Neural engine, cache, fabric. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Chip said fabric. Not sure what that is.
Ooh. Wow.
I think it maybe just connects everything together.
5 nanometer.
5 nanometer
nice.
system, dude.
$16
16 billion.
transitions. Transistors. Eight core, yep.
Yep.
Are they gonna do 4 and 4? Looks like 4 and 4, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say it looks like a 4-4 to me.
Whoa!
Oh.
Nice.
Oh yeah, there you go. 4 and 4.
Yep, there's your 4 high, 4. Okay.
Yep, 4,
Wow.
and then 4 efficiency. Yeah, okay. So it's an H14X,
hmm
basically.
Yeah.
I can't believe this is happening. I'm so excited. right
Crazy.
now.
Yeah.
Interesting. So the efficiency cores are as powerful as the entire MacBook Air on their own.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
Good
insane. That's crazy.
Well, that would I would expect that it's the most powerful chip they've ever made.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Ooh. Wow.
Okay.
Let's take a look.
Ooh, wow. Wow.
Wow.
That's
Wow.
insane.
That's about 10 watts. Wow. Yeah, look at that. The MacBook Air. So the thermal envelope is going
Quarter of
to
the
change
power.
the performance here.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow, a quarter of the power.
That's
That's
insane.
Bananas.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, people might not realize this is huge for
This
them.
is a humongous development, not just for Apple, but for computers.
This is industry shifting.
Wow.
This is crazy.
Oh yeah, graphics. This is gonna be some insane
Wow.
integrated graphics.
Yeah.
Yeah, an 8-core.
8-core GPU.
That's the A12Z has an 8-core GPU as well.
Yeah.
Up to. Interesting.
Hmm.
Maybe we'll have some TDP down configuration for
Mm.
the Air.
Yeah.
I wish they would show what the actual chip was.
Well, they said it's
Yeah.
the highest performance laptop, so I would have to imagine it's one of Intel's i9 offerings.
I feel like the performance is too high for them to be comparing. I feel like they're doing the like a quad core. Although they did show 10 watt.
Right.
Maybe it was an i9. That would be nuts.
Yeah.
I turned my phone upside down because I don't want to see spoilers from Twitter. Finally, we won't
Interesting.
have those Bridge OS crashes with the T2
Right.
chip.
Integrated
Oh.
directly in.
It's gonna be so nice. It's got the ISP. Interesting.
Up to 8-core GPU.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Up to 8
Oh, look
core
at his
GPU.
USB 4.
Ah, yeah.
Interesting.
You're right.
Interesting.
The question is, are they going to have a lower end processor for the Air, or is that going to be in the Air?
Right.
I mean, it's one.
That's what I'm talking about, right? That's what I'm thinking.
If that's in the
Does it say
MacBook
up
Air,
to?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's crazy.
I think we're about to get a new Mac here, folks.
Yeah.
Okay. Optimization is going to be off the charts on these things. Absolutely insane. Oh!
Big
Did
Sur.
you see the
Okay.
way it went into
All right.
that operating
Yeah.
system? All right, let's check off Big Sur here. Or I guess if we want to wait for
Spoiler alert,
release.
you can also
Oh, there's
check
Craig!
off Craig. Yeah.
Oh,
you can
there
also
he
check off
is.
Craig.
Check off Craig. Haha!
My
We
boy
did it.
Craig. There you go, Twitch
Yes!
chat. Hopefully you're
Twitch
satisfied.
chat is going crazy. Craig!
Craig.
told you we were gonna see Craig.
We sure did. Yep.
Yep, I talked about that in my last video. Wake
Yeah.
from sleep. I tweeted about that.
Oh.
Oh! What is happening? That's. I love Craig so much. Why does he do this?
That's so
Yes.
Oh my god.
I think that was the Mac. That looked like an Air, but it looked a little smaller.
I think that was an error.
Oh my god, that was hilarious.
That's
Snappy.
awesome.
Oh, Cinema 4D was running on Apple Silicon there.
I think they showed that in
They did.
at WWDC. I wonder if it's native now. Oh, there's a Geekbench or Cinebench.
Mm-hmm. I can't wait to run Cinebench on one of these things.
Interesting.
It's gonna be nuts. Interesting. How are they gonna split the
Oh.
graphics memory?
Interesting.
Can we please get 16 gigabytes of RAM standard in one of these things?
Right.
Please.
Okay,
You have
so
to spend over
here's the power management.
$2,000. Yeah. Playing a game. Quiet performance, not fanless though. They didn't say fanless.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't say silent.
True.
Mm.
Interesting. That's going to be a nightmare for repair.
I was gonna say
A
this is
nightmare.
I've got a lot going through my head about repair right now.
Yeah.
It's going to be so locked down, you're probably not going to be able to replace any parts.
Well, you won't be able to replace the CPU because of Secure Enclave.
Right.
I mean, it's not going to be socketed, so I don't think that would be feasible anyway without like some
Oh, it's not
crazy
fun,
chip
but
level.
it definitely can be done if people pay you enough. I mean,
It's a little bit.
Oh,
It's
wait, here comes
prohibitively
the Pro
expensive,
apps.
though.
Right.
Oh yeah,
Look,
there's Final
the
Cut.
Pro apps.
Mhm.
Yep, there you go. Yep. Wow.
Ooh, I like the icon.
Hmm. Got to go back over Universal and Rosetta, of course,
Right.
as you would expect.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, as in terms of repair, the question is going to be, I think with the top cases that have Touch ID, that
Mhm.
could end up.
Oh, here's
Being a
Adobe.
mess
That was
for
on our
repair.
bingo board.
Oh yeah, let's put
Yep,
that one in
yep,
there.
there it goes. Yeah, if you damage that fingerprint sensor, it's done. It's over.
It's gonna be a really.
That's
You're gonna have
that's
to
a
take it to
guarantee.
Apple to get repaired.
Yeah,
Which is
Yeah.
gonna be ridiculously expensive.
that's disappointing.
I'm interested to see if we get some increased focus in gaming.
Yeah.
I think they might touch on it.
Yeah, so having Among Us.
Among
Among
Us.
Us. Good,
Honestly,
nice,
I'll probably
nice
do
guy.
that. I'll play
I can
Among
see it
Us
being
on the
helpful,
Mac.
especially with things like handoff.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
the integration is going to be just irresistible. The ecosystem is about to be insane.
Oh, for sure.
They're talking about the chip. They're not talking about the hardware, which gives us some clues that the hardware might not be particularly different.
These animations, man, unmatched.
I know. They really knock it out of the park with these.
Unmatched.
What does this mean for the desktop? Interesting.
Hmm.
There's some more gaming there. I
People
wouldn't
are
be
going
surprised.
to gaming benchmark these things the moment they get them in their hands.
Oh, I'm going to. I
For
won't
sure.
apologize for that. I'm gonna do it.
The graphics claims, man, it gives reason.
Oh, absolutely. Power. Talking about power, not just battery life.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, 100,000,000%. This is just ridiculous.
Okay, there we go. Seamless workflow between all the devices. Yep.
Oh my god, this is going to be absolutely ludicrous.
Yeah.
Apple has put all of the tools in place for x86 developers to transition over to ARM. So this is definitely going to be crazy.
They're really going all in on this, which is good.
For sure.
Yeah.
A lot of people have been saying that the Mac has been neglected. That is no longer the case.
Oh,
True.
absolutely.
Oh, look at that camera.
Oh,
All right,
Wow.
now. Whoa.
wow. Yep, Twitch chat saying bye to Craig. Bye, Craig.
Bye, Craig.
Bye, Craig. We love
He's
you.
a real one. All right, let's get some hardware, shall we?
Yes, please.
Going into Steve Jobs Theater. Let's go.
Yep, we're about to get hardware. I'm so excited for this. That bass.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
Yeah, really.
Let's go.
Yep, here we go. All right,
The
everybody.
first Mac with M1. MacBook Air. Here it is. Oh my gosh. The animations, once again,
The
off the
animation
charts.
is nutty.
Look at that.
Oh, it's so
Wow.
Look at that. It's floating in the air. Is
Look
that a
at
Magic
that
keyboard or a butterfly
board.
keyboard? This looks like an Air.
Wow.
Oh, look at how
Okay.
tiny it is.
Wow,
There's the
that's
battery.
so small. There it is.
That
Yep, MacBook
looks
Air.
That's
the same.
Yep.
Yeah.
Looks
Yep, it
exactly the
does.
same. With M1. And it looks identical.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which we can't say is surprising.
Yeah.
In all fairness.
Yeah,
we
we
were
may
kind
have
of expecting
wanted it to be different, but we didn't expect it to be different.
Yeah.
Doesn't look thinner either.
Yeah, no.
Bezels are still the same thickness.
Hmm.
Are they going to keep the Intel version around? I don't know that they will.
Yeah, I could see them getting rid of it on this one and keeping it for the others, possibly.
Possibly, yeah.
Especially if this one's going to be cheaper, they would get rid of the current one.
I mean, even if it doesn't look any different, but it's $200 less, that's going to be a huge selling point.
Oh, yeah. And as a best-selling notebook already, that's going to
Right?
cement its position. Easy.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
The previous generation from March, April. The world up to, still saying up to 8 cores.
Yeah.
So
That's
gonna be
so
some,
interesting.
But they didn't say up to for the CPU cores. So I
Right.
guess you pay extra for better graphics.
For extra graphics cores.
Interesting.
Small feeling in a MacBook Air, if you get those extra cores, you're going to set your lap on fire.
True.
I'm sure it is.
I'm sure it is when you don't tell us what you're comparing it to.
That 98%. What?
Well, I suppose there's not a ton of people out there buying a 17-inch Razer Blade.
Right?
I really wish that they would have just changed the bezels, just like a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I don't personally mind that much, but I just know
It would have been
people are going to be bothered by
nice
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Without a fan, I was right.
No
I was going
fan.
to say, there's your without a fan.
Yeah, silent design.
Twitch chat, they fixed the arrow keys.
15 hours, that was right too.
Yeah. Let's put that
That's
up.
what, 6 hours?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wow.
that's
yeah, 6. There you go.
nuts.
Wow.
Because the battery's the same.
Wow. That's crazy. But also, that's not unsurprising with ARM. So,
Yeah.
So how's our bingo board looking here?
Pretty good for so far.
Yeah.
Okay, is there a higher quality webcam though?
Yeah.
right?
Please-
Yeah.
please
Volts,
be
Volts is
1080p.
still talking about it.
Oh boy, I can't wait to look more natural in
Oh, they're
720p.
talking about the display. Oh, no.
Okay, P3 on the Air. There's some of that cost savings coming into effect here.
Yeah.
Oh, look at the globe.
The
function
function
key is
key.
a globe icon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that'll be a new software feature.
probably emojis.
Well, I hope people are
Yeah.
happy. You at least get to keep Touch ID around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Twitch chat, no
How
Face
much
ID.
does it
Yeah, no
cost?
Face ID. Yeah,
No Face ID.
No.
They also didn't talk about it's got to be a 720p cam.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, price. Okay,
Okay, pricing.
$9.99.
Same price.
$8.99 EDU. Interesting.
Interesting.
Huh.
Well, I guess they're eating those cost savings. They're just taking those
Wi-Fi
profits.
6.
Up to up to 16 gigabytes of RAM, 2 terabyte. Wi-Fi 6, yeah. Okay, faster SSD. At the very least, though, it still starts at 256.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, just in case you need a 2 terabyte SSD in your you know,
never know.
MacBook Air.
We must be getting another new Mac, though. There's no way it's just that.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be way too short of an event, even with other stuff.
Absolutely.
Well, they're probably gonna do the 13-inch Pro. I'm hoping.
That's just nuts.
Right? Oh, okay, here we go.
But that's not all.
But that's not all, folks.
Another Mac, the 13-inch MacBook Pro.
Let's see it.
It is
Luke's calling it
also
now, boys.
that is also going to look exactly the same, I bet.
Right?
Yeah.
These animations are still. Oh, interesting.
Oh, wait.
Okay.
Wait, is
Wait
this
a second.
Wait a second.
Wait a
It's
minute.
a Mac Mini.
I was
Yeah.
actually gonna talk about that with the developer transition kit. It makes sense.
Right.
Yeah.
The DTK. Yeah, I completely forgot about that.
Ooh, and it
Right.
looks the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Let's see what they do with this. They have more cooling performance here. Let's see what they do.
True.
Yeah.
True. New Mac Mini. A lot of us were wrong about this. A lot of us in the tech YouTube space did not expect this.
Yeah.
It's like a UFO. Look at it go.
Yeah. I hope it has those lights on it, like
Me
the
too.
actual lights. That'd be so cool.
That'd be
Twitch
awesome.
chat RGB on the bottom of the Mac. I wish.
Yeah.
I wish.
I wish.
Gamer Mac.
Yeah, no, look at it. Look at it there.
Oh, that's awesome.
Would it have killed them to make it look a little different?
Right? Put a little white light down at the bottom. I don't know.
Yeah, that would have been cool. With no more upgradable RAM.
Calling it now.
Are they going to keep this at the same price too, or are they going to make this less expensive?
It's so weird to see the Pro Display XDR hooked up to a Mac Mini.
Yeah, right? Like the Mac Mini is like $400, $700, and then you're hooking it up to a $6,000 display.
Yeah.
With the $1,000 stand, if
Of
that's your thing.
course. Well, compared to the Core i3 little dinky,
Right?
Yeah.
cranking up the graphics settings.
Okay, so this is a first time where they're actually talking somewhat about gaming anyway.
That's true.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
That said Core i5 8th gen. I think they're comparing it to a Core i5 8500. That's my guess.
Bolt's PC, rip HP.
That doesn't look great.
Enhance.
Enhance! But for real.
You know what? In all fairness, better than it was before.
True.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. Look at how empty it is in there.
Right?
Yeah.
What? That looks
Like, what are you doing with all the
weird.
extra space, Apple?
nothing. It's just empty. Why didn't they redesign this? They could have made it smaller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very odd.
They might just
I'm not
wanna
gonna lie,
be-
I don't think this thing needed that full heatsink either.
I don't think it
Probably
did.
not.
It's never gonna ramp up the fan.
No, I want to know clock speeds on these. That's
That is odd. Same price.
Same price.
Now starts.
no, it's $699.
Okay.
Is that?
Yeah, so that's
It's $100
$100
less.
less.
$100 less. Okay, you know what?
Interesting.
I'll take it. That's not bad. That's not
That's
terrible.
good. I missed the $599 price point they used to have.
Yeah.
Ultra compact design.
The same one since 2012.
Yeah. Whoa, Wi-Fi 6. 16 gigs and 2 terabytes.
Only up to 16 gigs of RAM. though?
Why?
That's less. Wait.
That sucks.
What?
That's
That's
terrible.
that's
You
yeah.
could put 64 in the current one in the 2018.
Yeah.
Do you guys think they're actually limiting the RAM that you can put in these things?
I think so.
I
That's very
guess.
odd.
That's
That's
so
really
low.
odd.
I don't
Someone
know.
says maybe ARM doesn't need that much RAM. I mean, yeah, but
You
the
can still
programs you
use
run-
more than 16
right. It's the
gigabytes
programs
of RAM.
you run is what matter.
Yeah.
When I use Final Cut Pro, I just sit there with it running in the background using like 50 gigs of
Mhm.
RAM. Another one,
Okay.
MacBook
Is this the
Pro.
MacBook
Okay,
Pro?
this might be the Pro.
13-inch?
Yeah, we're in dark
Oh yeah,
mode.
it's black. We're in
Yeah.
dark mode. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're in dark
We're
mode.
going in full bore.
Whoa!
Oh boy.
All right, here we are.
Ooh, nice. I like it.
Oh.
I like it.
Okay.
Okay, is it gonna look exactly the same?
That's intense.
This is very intense.
Oh.
That's a
That's
fan.
so intense.
Oh, yeah.
13-inch MacBook Pro, and it looks the same.
Interesting.
Oh.
Watch us put these together.
They zoomed in on the camera though.
Yeah.
There's something with the camera. I have to guess. There's something. Whoa!
Oh boy.
I would hope so.
It's warping all over the place. I'm tired. This is whew.
Wow, getting intense. Twitch chat, the affordable.
I've got one right here, and it looks exactly the same.
Whoa, Luke Miani, ARM Mac 13-inch leak.
You heard it here first. I'm looking for any clues. I'm not seeing anything new about it. Then the base model? Up to. Again with the up to.
Looks like we're missing our curved bezels for Big Sur on the Bing.
I know, I'm so sad.
I was not expecting that, but
It does seem like they're going quickly through these. Maybe there's something coming later.
hopefully.
Because it's been 37 minutes.
Yeah.
They've got time for
Yeah, they've definitely got
one
time.
more something. Maybe the 16-inch Intel.
Yeah, sit here and talk for 10 minutes about the Intel refresh.
Okay, the thing is, this is kind of funny. We keep talking about the ML tasks and the GPU and how much faster it is, but it's the same chip. It's just faster
Yeah,
than different
it is.
things.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, it's literally the same chip in everything, which we weren't expecting any different necessarily, but
yeah, but like, don't talk about the performance being 15
Yeah.
times or 11 times faster because you're just comparing the same chip to a different benchmark.
right.
Oh yeah, what's the battery life?
Oh, okay. 17, okay.
17 hours of web browsing. Ah,
Wow.
that's nuts.
Yeah.
Wow,
That's crazy.
that's insane.
All right, in all fairness, they did crack that 20 hour. I want to see how that holds up.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
What
such
an
a
interesting
we've
benchmark.
We've got
That's the
something
weirdest
new.
benchmark
We
I've
got
ever
new
heard.
Four
in my
times
life.
more compile with a single charge. What?
That is
Like-
the weirdest thing I've
Okay.
ever heard.
You can refresh 30,000 more tabs.
Camera, okay.
Yeah, same. No different webcam.
Secure enclave stuff, yeah. Whoa. Whoa, 6K Pro Display XDR.
Yeah, that's
Okay, well, there's something interesting out
that's
of this
interesting.
at least.
I can't wait to get my hands on
That's
these
still
things.
£3.
Yeah.
The question is, do I have to now buy all 3 of these things?
Yes.
Right? I think it's going to be
obviously.
like which one do people care about more?
Well, no, you're gonna buy all 3 of them.
The question is, why buy the MacBook Pro if it's the same chip as the Air?
Ooh,
I don't know.
that price.
No
you gotta
decrease in
see.
price?
You
Well,
have to see what the options
up to
are.
16 gigs of memory and 2
Only
terabyte
16?
SSD. Okay, so this is definitely a chip cap. 100%.
Yeah.
It's gotta be.
Wow, people are
16.
not going to be happy about that.
They
That's
are
going to
not.
be a big turnoff for people.
Why?
I mean, to be fair, these are the entry level ones. So I feel like if you get up to 16 with the entry level ones, like the lower level ones, you're probably okay. But it makes sense that they're not launching the more powerful ones yet, obviously.
That is so strange to have 16 gig cap.
Yeah.
I think that. Oh, did they talk about 2 or 4 Thunderbolt ports?
They said 2 on the MacBook Pro,
yeah, I was gonna say
which
it's
I was
2
kind of
on the Pro.
surprised by.
So that means they're likely leaving the Intel version intact.
Right.
The 4
Oh,
port
for
one.
sure.
They're gonna leave the 4 Thunderbolt port for Intel, which is a little weird.
Okay, well, they're
Yeah.
showing the packaging, so the packaging isn't shrinking if that was on anyone's mind.
Yeah, that looks exactly the same.
The theme of the show, exactly the same.
Yeah. I mean, they're really easing us into it. Maybe a little bit too much.
Right? This one's really easy. Oh, okay. Starting today.
Order
That's not
today.
bad.
Okay. Oh,
Okay,
wow.
there's the Big Sur stuff.
Okay, I'm gonna get. All right, well, that's when my video's going live.
Oh, all right.
Sweet.
Oh wait, Big Sur release imminent. Crossing
Yeah.
that
Yep.
off.
Yep, on Thursday.
Big Sur
So-
on Thursday. I've got a video ready to go.
I can't remember whether I tweeted it was coming at this event or if it was announced. I gotta check that. We're off to one heck of a start.
One heck of a start.
Yeah, we are, bud. Yeah, we are.
All right, so now they got to talk about something else.
We're trying to
Yeah,
get
there's
back
still
to
time
Tim.
they could fill. Okay, short film.
Okay, let's see.
We're only 43 minutes in, so there's got to be
Mhm.
something else.
But I don't think it's gonna
Oh.
be a Mac.
Yeah.
The
no.
chime. The chime, boys.
The chime.
The chime.
Yeah.
Twitch chat dong.
Playful.
These things are gonna be silent and cool running.
I was
That
going
is
to say,
gonna
she's
be
talking about
huge.
it's cooler than her hands. Okay, so at least we're not going to set ourselves on fire using them this time.
That's
good.
Yeah.
That's good.
I'm gonna open up that air because I want to see what's in place of the fan. Is it just gonna be an empty hole?
So, do you remember what they... Do you remember what they like the current heatsink design to where it's like the fan and then nothing's blowing over it? It's just
Yeah,
there because
It's
why not?
disconnected.
I'm
I think
pretty
they're
much
just. I think they're
guaranteeing you
literally
now,
just not screwing a fan into it. I don't think they changed anything
If-
else.
At most, I can see them putting more structural material in there, like some cross brace, and that's about it.
We shall see. I'm gonna tear that down. iFixit's gonna tear it down.
Oh, for
I'm
sure.
sure they'll have a lot to say about it.
Yeah.
Oh, I know iFixit's going to have a lot to say about it.
This is interesting.
Ooh.
Oh.
Good transitions. So many good
Okay.
transitions.
Bold changes? Really?
Mm.
With the same bezels as 2016? You're gonna talk about bold changes?
I mean, I can give it to them just because they're going ARM, but yeah.
It's just a little
That's-
ironic.
Yeah.
Oh, we're standing now.
Mm.
This feels like it's ramping up.
I was gonna say he's
I
getting
hope
serious.
so.
This seems like they're going into something else.
I don't. Oh, I really can't tell. I don't know. They might be ending it.
Yeah, I think this
Yeah,
is over.
That's gotta be
Okay,
the
yeah,
end.
that sounds like it's ending. Oh, okay, yeah.
No air tags. Yeah,
No?
it's done.
Interesting. All right, in all fairness, Prosser said that chances are they aren't coming this year, so
Wow,
Yeah.
that was really short.
That was really short.
that was very short. I'll give them credit, though. They have a fantastic music sense. Ooh,
They
ooh,
really do.
ooh, what? Oh.
Oh,
Oh, no! No!
oh my god.
Wow.
Mac guy versus PC guy.
Yeah. This is amazing. Where are you going?
Wow. All right, that's basically Apple kicking the industry. Like, all right, time to move.
I love this.
Wow. Wow. I've missed that.
Wow.
That's good.
That was so good.
I hope they bring
Wow.
more of those. I really
Yeah.
hope we get some more
Yeah.
a return to the Mac and PC ads. That would be
That
So
would be so
funny.
good.
Oh man.
Someone in Twitch chat, this presentation is saved. 100%. Yeah, that was an amazing ending to the presentation.
yeah. They pulled it out of the hat with that one there.
That
was
great.
really good.
That
All right,
was
let's
awesome.
let's see if we'll hang around here and get okay. All right. We are now. I'm gonna stop
right.
that screen share because the website is now updated. So I'm going to let's go through this. Let's get our first impressions here with
let's see what we got.
pricing. All right, folks. Are you guys ready? If let's see if people are people coming back now? Yeah. All right. People are coming back.
All right.
Welcome back after the stream here. We are going to open up. Here we are. We're screen sharing Apple's website. They've just updated with all of the new stuff. So you're going to get our live impressions here as we go through this. Ooh, look at that small chip.
Okay, so
giant
they have their financing options. Okay.
Okay,
Interesting.
here we go, folks. So let's start with the Mac Mini. We'll go up the product stack here. So okay, so the M1 chip models are not available yet. That's interesting.
Interesting.
Interestingly though, that means I suspect Intel is still available. Let's see what we have here. Okay, so the processor is the same, the M1 chip here, 256 to start. They both have the 8-core GPU, the 8 gigabytes of RAM. Come on, still.
Ooh. Wow.
So the only difference
on,
between
Apple.
these appears to be. Oh look, yep, Intel is still here.
Yeah, okay. It's just at the bottom.
Yeah, so Intel is still available, and let's see if we can configure anything. So we can go 16, we can go 2 terabytes, and that's it. That's all she wrote. Not a lot, not a lot of configurations here. So for whatever reason, they split it into 2 models, even though you can configure them to be exactly the same. Let's take a look at the MacBook Air, which, yeah, look at that, familiar. What do we got here? Are we going to place your bets here, folks? Are we going to get Intel still at the
We
bottom?
getting Intel?
No, Intel is
No.
gone.
Interesting. Okay.
Okay, wait. Look at those GPU.
7-core
differences
GPU on the base
Interesting.
model.
versus
and then an
8-core.
8-core.
That's the
That's
only
weird.
difference.
And it costs that much extra on top of the storage. Interesting.
$12.50.
That's ooh.
Not
Well, yeah.
1099.
It's that and
1250. Whew,
that
that's
and
a
the storage.
lot.
We've got people in Twitch chat asking if the RAM is upgradable. They didn't see anything. We don't know. But
Unified
they're
memory,
capping
it's
at
not
16.
upgradable. No
No,
way.
it's
No?
built. It's
No way.
part of the chip. It's part of the SoC. So
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
not
So,
upgradable.
and that's where it's going to be interesting. You know, if you guys don't check in on iFixit, they're going to have teardowns for this stuff that I think is going to confirm a lot of what we've been saying. In terms of repair, this is not looking good for us.
No, this
To
one's
be
looking
very
really
clear.
rough.
They do
we're
have the
also-
Intel Max, the MacBook Pro. Are you on the? Oh, you're
No,
on
I'm on the Air right now. So, the most expensive Air, 2050.
Ooh.
It's pretty pricey. Let's go to the MacBook Pro. Again, same chips on a lot of these. They do still have. Yeah,
Okay, so they do
just
still
as
have the
I
Intel
thought.
variants.
So they're maintaining the exact same pricing here, which
Mhm.
means the same 8 gigabytes of RAM.
Apple, what are you doing?
That is so bizarre, though, because these... Oh, man. I'm not going to buy one for this video, but these Intel ones that are positioned as being better, just by nature of how expensive they are going to be a way less powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, that's weird.
they're
That
kind
is
of
so
twisting your arm
strange.
there. Like,
So,
what,
I
you want a
feel
powerful
like...
Mac, but you can't upgrade.
Which one of these should I buy? I feel like I only really need the base model.
Yeah, I don't see a whole lot of difference between the
That's good. That'll
non-base
save
and-
me some money.
right?
So yeah, I mean we've got. I'm gonna go through and order these now. Not
Twitch
obviously.
chat.
while
Hey, you
screen
get a power
sharing it.
cord at least. Yeah, at least you get a power cord.
Yeah. Oh man. Okay, so I think the interesting comparison here for these videos, I think I'm gonna go for the base MacBook Air because I'm interested to see that 7-core GPU. Is that gonna make a difference?
Okay, same three finishes as before, so that's nothing new.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, the proof is gonna be in the pudding here in terms of what's actually different.
Definitely.
So, while we talk about this, I'm going to go right ahead and place my orders here.
We've got CDN student in Twitch chat. Wow, I can't believe the pros only get 256 gigs of storage.
To start with, I mean, I'm not surprised
Yeah.
by that.
Yeah, I'm not really surprised either.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to do a MacBook Air. What color do you guys think I should do? Gold? I've never had a gold one. I think I'm
Yeah,
going to do
yeah,
gold.
you know what? I think,
Do
yeah,
a-
gold sounds good.
Do a gold Air and then
Silver or gray for the Pro?
I think you should do gray, personal opinion. I don't know. I just think gray
Okay.
looks better in Apple's product
Yeah.
line.
I've got the silver one
They do
right
gray
now.
well.
So maybe I'll do gray just so that people can tell the difference in the video.
Right, yeah, there you go.
For
Good.
which one I'm
Otherwise, you're gonna
talking
have to,
about.
like, label them.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm just going to go for the base model. I don't think it's not worth $200 to go from 8 to 16 gigs of RAM. So,
Yeah, really.
you know, some things will never change, and that is Apple charging way too much money.
Just inordinate amounts of money.
Way too much money for RAM. I'm going to do the base model Mac Mini too. I don't see any need to upgrade that
Right.
either.
and that one's
Johnny
silver,
two
so you
times.
got all three.
If I walk into an Apple store and
Oh,
say I
you're
want
right,
a
Noah.
13-inch, the fastest processor with 32 gigs of minimum, what are they going to sell me? They're going to have to sell you an
Oh.
Intel variant. Like,
Yeah.
they would have to sell you an Intel variant. They don't have a
You're right.
choice.
Oh, man,
Like,
this is
they're going to tell you. I'm willing
right.
to bet it's going to
Let's look
be
at
in
this.
seed, and I could check. But they're probably going to tell you either do you want ARM and lose out on the RAM, or do you
Ah.
want the RAM and you lose out on the performance of ARM?
or do you wait?
Ooh, this is expensive.
Or do you wait? But if you're waiting, I mean, that's going to be a wait.
Show us your cart, Luke. Show us typing in your credit card number.
Oh,
'cause
man.
he's cringing so hard.
I am cringing. This is
Oh.
expensive. And I
Oh,
just
yeah.
spent $2,000 on iPhones for this Friday. My goodness. Should I do pickup or delivery? I feel like pickup might actually be faster.
When is it? When are they coming? Next week?
November 17th to 18th for delivery. I'm going to just do delivery. It was fine.
Is
for-
the
for
bootloader
before.
locked? Says Twitch chat. Great question. I would really
That is a
hope
great
not.
question.
I would
that'll
really hope
be-
not. We know. So a big question I know you guys have probably seen floating around is what they're going to do with Boot Camp.
Mm-hmm.
It is, unless Windows is released publicly for ARM and Apple adds the support, I can't see them continuing support. It's just not a thing they can do. You know?
Yeah.
Right.
I've heard rumors that Boot Camp might make a comeback at some point. I'm not sure if that's accurate. All right,
If it
actually,
does, it would have to be
right now, since we're peaking right now in terms of concurrent viewers, so I want to get people's impressions in the chat here. What do you guys think? Are you excited or are you underwhelmed? I know for a lot of people, this is something that we've been waiting for a long time. And a lot of people I've been advising, don't buy a MacBook, don't buy a MacBook. Do you think that this is worth it? And while we wait for some of those replies to come in, I just want to thank again iFixit for sponsoring today's video. Of course, you guys are definitely gonna want to check them out. I think they have a newsletter, which would definitely be worth following. I've got a link below for all of this, by the way, because I would expect by next weekend when these things are available, they'll have comprehensive teardowns. Because I know a lot of what we were talking about today was about repairability.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot changed in terms of design, but it's possible that repairability is going to go way down, especially with the tight integration and security thing. So it's really going to be up in the air in terms of what parts are going to be compatible. You know what else I just thought of? What, seeing as nothing has changed, will you be able to take the Apple Silicon board and put it in an Intel MacBook?
That's actually a good question. I do wonder that.
Maybe I'll have to whip out my iFixit ProTech Toolkit, which you can get for $10 off and an additional $10 off if you use coupon code Luke10 with the link in the description below. Maybe I'll have to whip that out and give that a
look
shot.
At that.
Look at that.
Top tier product placement.
That right there was some big brain marketing strategy
Wow.
right
That
there.
was great.
Yeah.
We got
my-
we got a lot of people in Twitch chat saying disappointed.
I tried
A lot
so
of
hard to
people.
temper everyone's expectations. I really tried.
Really, truly.
I tried so hard because, I mean, and, you know, we all had our wishful thinking of like, oh, maybe it'll be different, but I don't think any of us are really allowed to be surprised by the fact that they didn't change anything. Bummed,
Definitely.
maybe, but surprised, no.
Like, I think people are kind of surprised at the design changes that we were kind of expecting. Like, even if it was just more rounded off, display corners or something like that. But, yeah, I mean, in all fairness, everyone's been saying, temper your expectations. This is mainly going to be a chip thing. And, lo and behold,
That's
here it is.
weird. It wouldn't let me place the order.
Didn't it?
Apple.
It said I've exceeded a quantity.
Oh,
Did
do
you
you think they're
accidentally
only
add
letting
10?
you buy, like, one at a time or so?
I do not know. I'm going to try buying them
Interesting.
one at a time. Let me just check my email in case I don't want to buy these twice. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Well, you can give me one if you.
Uh-huh. Yeah. That's definitely going to happen. Okay, so let's just try... Wait a second. Okay, no, never mind. I forgot that you changed the color before you order it, and I was like, is there no silver option? Anyway, okay, so I'm gonna just go through and I'm gonna buy the 13-inch MacBook Pro. I'm probably gonna keep that. Okay, wait, what the heck? My bag. It didn't empty my bag. Okay,
what's
so
the actual difference between the Air and the Pro?
I'm gonna try to just.
That is a good question, actually.
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy just the MacBook
Wait.
Pro first.
Yeah. Wait. What is the difference?
Between
Right?
the Air
It's
and
what
the
is
Pro.
the difference between every one of these systems? If
Cooling.
I'm being honest, it's the same chip. It's literally just cooling, as best as we can tell.
Cooling. That's pretty much it.
I think the performance might be a little neutered on the Air compared to the Pro, just because it's passively cooled. But other than that, besides the obvious design stuff, I think it's just going to be cooling.
I
think you're right.
Well, the touch bar too, for what it's worth.
Oh yeah.
Right? Yeah. Okay. The touch bar and battery. Yeah.
But that's good though. I think that's interesting because that gives you the ability. Hang on a second. I gotta confirm my Apple Pay here. Okay, are we good? Processing payment. Okay, I've ordered the MacBook Pro. What should I order
chat,
next?
there we go. Want to shoot your shot with that Mac Mini?
Oh, hang on a
Do the
second.
Mac Mini.
The special event is replaying. Okay, so it's already up there. That's good though.
Alright,
That means
yeah.
I can go through and
Scrub through.
scrub through that. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, this is a weird situation.
This is a really weird year for them.
Very weird
All
year.
things. This is on top of it. I think this is a really interesting way for them to end their product year.
I think. Well, I don't think there's gonna be much of a reason for someone to spend $300 going from the base Air to the Pro. Even though you get the extra one GPU core,
And the touch bar.
don't forget that one core. That makes a lot of
Right?
difference.
It's
Yeah, that's
man,
it.
that one core is going to cost me my life savings with Apple.
I know, right? They're like, you want
Aw.
one core and a little screen that's wide? That's gonna be $300. Oh, and a fan. You get
And
a
a
fan.
Using the
fan, of
education
course.
discount.
I am using the education discount. Yes.
Wanted to
Okay.
make sure.
Do they actually verify the
No.
education discount? I'm pretty sure they don't.
No.
Yeah, really.
Well, whatever.
Oh, you know what? A good thing for me to check would be to see what business pricing is. Not that I'm sure many people here would care a whole lot.
Oh, that's a good
However,
idea. Yeah, check that.
It is worth.
Is it better?
worth
Should I
checking
do
out.
that? I feel like I should.
It's the same as education. I'm actually enrolled. I enrolled my company in the business
Payment-
thing.
Are
just
you
to
as
see
well?
what it's-
Fail.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the
Okay.
same as far as I can tell.
Oh my gosh! It won't let me buy this.
What is it saying?
Said, product limit exceeded.
Do you want me to buy? You want me to check one of them out and then you just pay me back?
Go buy a MacBook Air.
Okay.
I'll pay you back.
And I get to keep it.
No. Oh my goodness. This is weird. Are they limiting the number of Apple Silicon Macs that you buy? Because I'm not buying more than one of each of these. Let me try to buy a
Right.
Mac Mini.
Which color? You wanted gold for the Air.
Yeah,
right?
do gold for the Air.
And the
Yeah,
base. Let me
pricing
make sure
is-
I'm in education.
Pricing is the same business wise, so that's not anything different.
Yeah.
Let's see if it'll let me buy a Mac Mini.
Okay, here we go. MacBook Air.
Okay. Buy with Apple Pay. This is interesting. Let's see if it'll let me do this. Processing payment. Nope.
Interesting.
I don't think it'll let you buy more than one Apple Silicon Mac.
Wow.
That's odd. Huh.
Luke's
So-
about to whip out the 4 different Apple IDs to buy some Macs.
You could try a different card, Luke. Do you
I
have another
tried-
card?
Let me try PayPal. Very strange. Very strange. So I don't mean to neglect chat here.
Oh, we've got
Yeah,
got
do we have any
someone
good questions?
in Twitch chat. Dominic Stang, purchase quantity, faculty staff, desktop 1 per year, Mac Mini 1 per year, notebook 1 per year, 3
Oh.
iPad. Okay.
It might
Interesting.
be because I'm in. Let me try leaving the education store.
Right. I was gonna say it says it's limited to
Yeah, let
one
me try
purchase
that.
per year. Interesting.
I bet you that's it. I don't know why I didn't think of that. Okay. Let's try this again with a non-education store, and I am going to use I'm doing the Mac Mini here, so it's only $30 saved. Noah, were you able to check out there with that Air?
Yeah, wait. Let me just. I'm gonna do that. So 13-inch
Yeah.
MacBook Air, gold, the
gold.
$899 one,
Totally stock. Yeah.
and let me make sure that I send it to the correct address.
Good note. Good note. All right, let's see if it'll let me do non-education Mac Mini processing payment. Is it going to work? Done. It worked.
Nice.
Sweet.
Yep, it was the education store limit.
Yep.
Okay, that's
Yep,
fine
people
though.
in
I was
chat-
only going to
people in
save
chat are
30
telling
bucks
us
here.
now. People in chat are like, yeah, no, you can only use the education discount once per year.
Thank you, chat.
Got it.
I don't think that's accurate, though. It's not once per year, because I bought this MacBook Pro with the education discount in May. So it is not yearly. I also bought this iMac with education.
I wonder if they
August.
mean, instead of like when they mean yearly, it's like once per year for that specific generation, maybe, because this is a new generation. That could be it.
Maybe, could be. I don't know. That's interesting. So I think the thing that I'm looking forward to most of all with this is, I mean, obviously the battery life and the performance are going to be off the charts. However, I think a lot of people are going to want to weigh that with, you know, is it worth the hit to repairability?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you know, as a guy, I've had Macs for a long time, and in the past, even before, it started to get worse with the Touch Bar generations, but with my Retinas, the 15-inch, the old generation, the original Retinas, those things are so easy. You just whip out your iFixit ProTech toolkit, which you can get for $20 off if you use the Black Friday discount and my coupon code in the description below. You just whip it out, boom, a terabyte. I've done that so many times. You'll buy one of those things with like 128 terabyte, done, easy. iFixit ProTech toolkit makes it super easy.
Oh my god! Wait, can you pause for a second? Can you just text me your address?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay.
Yep.
I just want to make sure I do the right one.
Alrighty then. There you are.
Alright.
Yeah, sure, I'll just put it up in a banner here. If anyone wants to buy me MacBooks, I'll just put it up here. You can just mail them to me. Worth a shot. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do that. Other YouTubers have had people find their houses, and it does not end well. So we're not going to do that.
To get to that point, but
I've had people somehow find my phone number and like text me and be like, "Hey, buddy, can you help me?" And I'm like, this is an invasion of privacy. That's not the way to go about doing that."
I've had people find my private Telegram and stuff, and I just don't respond. I'm like,
yeah, no,
okay,
I just don't respond.
I don't need that happening.
Alrighty here. So, this is a real head scratcher here. I think it's very interesting to have the Intel ones stick around. Also, we were wrong about the 16-inch MacBook Pro. That has not been updated. Although, you know, we're like less than an hour out from the event. I think it's a pretty decent bet that is going to come eventually.
Right.
Probably next month. I mean next week, not next month. If I had to guess. It'll be interesting though to have this wait. Oh, thank you, Noah. Noah sent over the guest order. Oh boy.
Yes, the MacBook
I'm
Air
excited
has
for
been
this.
ordered.
That's gonna be
Interestingly,
good.
on the Mac page, if you scroll over and go to Big Sur, it doesn't say new. However, it does have the updated details for Big Sur.
Maybe when it actually comes out, they'll
you're right.
the new banner or something.
Available on the 12th. Well, I'm gonna just go ahead and schedule my video because this was the one case where I had forethought and I was like, oh, I'm gonna have a big brain moment where I'm gonna make the video beforehand so I don't have to. Because I usually with these event things, right? I usually just start scrambling. As soon as we stop this stream, I have my camera over there. I'm going to turn it on, and I'm going to film another video. Probably 2. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, screw it. We'll do 2. Why not?
Going for 2. Yeah, boys.
Going for
let's
2.
Go.
Why not? Might as well. So I'm going to go for 2 videos, but this time I can relax. I can breathe easy because I already have my Big Sur video that I made, because obviously between the release candidate and the actual full version, nothing really major has changed. So for a Big Sur tips and tricks video, it's gonna be, it's gonna be fine. So I've got that one ready to go. The question is what time of day? Because I want to time it right. I mean, obviously I can change it. What time did iOS 14 come out? Like 2 p.m. Eastern?
Yeah, I feel like they
Yeah,
usually do
that's-
stuff at like 1 p.m. I think they were a little bit delayed with iOS 14, but
All
like
right,
early afternoon.
we'll do 1 p.m. and I'll just monitor it on Thursday and try to get that timing.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. I mean, yeah, so that's 3 Apple Silicon Macs, all of which I bought. Um,
Uh,
oh, that's an interesting thing. Someone just pointed out no gigahertz.
Yeah,
yep,
we don't know
that's
the
what I
clock
was. Yep,
speed.
that's what I was talking about earlier. I wanted to see what the clock speeds were.
Yeah.
They didn't say anything about that. Nothing on their store, obviously.
I'm gonna open Cinebench so fast. Oh my god, you guys have no idea. It's gonna be the first thing that I do, is open Cinebench. The question is Cinebench gonna be running through Rosetta?
Mm.
I don't know.
Good
Well,
question.
they did show it running after their section talking about universal apps, so possibly it's updated to be a universal app.
I
Hopefully,
hope so.
I hope
Yeah, I
so.
would really hope so.
Because if the MacBook Air ends up being anywhere near a 15 or 16 inch MacBook Pro, I may faint. Also, someone said here, is it worth to trade in 16 inch to an M1 13 inch? No, I don't
No,
think so.
absolutely not.
I don't think so. The 16 inch will probably get Apple Silicon in WWDC 2021, if I had to guess. Hopefully,
Yeah, that would be
Hopefully
the hope.
with the new
Really
design.
don't want to wait a whole year. Really don't
hopefully
wanna
with the
have to
new
wait a whole year.
design. If they could
Yeah.
do 14 inch and 16 inch with Face ID, curved display, mini LED, thinner design, and M2. That sounds tasty.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
That's as I like to say, that's a blank check situation. That's don't even tell me the price, just take the money. Yeah, someone said that's reaching. Yeah, I know. Okay, a guy can dream. I just want to dream.
Okay,
I'm a dreamer.
interestingly,
What can I say?
the 13-inch Pro, the M1 variant is 3 pounds, and the Intel 13-inch variant is 3.1. Not that that matters at all.
The Intel chip weighs more.
Yeah.
Oh no, you know what it is? It's because the 4 Thunderbolt 3 port model has a dual fan design, so it has the mustachio shaped logic board and more
Right.
fans and more heatsink. Damn, look at that big brain. Ugh, I figured it out. But yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see what difference in performance there is with the exact same chip across the board, but fanless in the Air, fan in the Pro, and then another fan, a different shaped fan in the Mini.
Oh,
Oh,
you know what?
someone else just pointed out,
Oh,
excellent
Mac
note.
Mini.
Ethernet.
No 10
no
gigabit
10 gig.
Ethernet on the Mac Mini.
Interesting. That's
Interesting.
true. That is
And
true.
I think it's gonna be so weird if the Mac Mini and also with the 13-inch MacBook Pro, because the base models that don't have as much RAM, don't have as much storage, don't have as many Thunderbolt ports, that are being positioned as lower end than Intel, are going to be way more powerful than Intel,
Right.
which is bizarre. It's gonna be the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't know what they're doing here.
Yeah, looking at comparing the latest two 13-inch models and then the 13-inch from 2016, if you go on to compute, it doesn't list anything for clock speeds, and the graphics option is blanked out as well because it's just built-in graphics from
Huh.
them.
That is so weird.
Interesting. I wonder why they're so secretive about that. That's so weird.
I mean, it's not like we're not going to find out.
Right. I wonder if it runs at a really low clock speed normally and it just turbos itself up whenever it's doing anything.
Yeah.
I do wonder.
probably. You know what else
So-
I wanted to point out was
Yeah.
we were saying that the 7-core GPU thing was kind of weird. And
Yeah.
I was just thinking, that's exactly the A12X to A12Z, was that the A12X is just a binned A12Z with the one
Right.
core missing. So I'm guessing they're using this chip across everything. They wanted to
And it's just a
get
binning
a
process.
slightly higher yield, so they're just using them there. So it actually
In fact,
does make
I would
sense.
suspect that a good number of these M1s are also going to be M2 that just have less cores enabled. That would be
That's
my
true.
guess.
Right.
Because I suspect the graphics, the integrated graphics, won't change on the desktops. They'll just add their dedicated chip.
Right.
One thing that I do wonder about is how are they going to scale this chip? Because
Right.
so if you think about Intel's naming scheme, they've got two different ways of tiering it. You've got the generation, which goes year to year, and then you've got the level, which is which indicates performance. So i3, i5, i7, i9, and then third, fourth, fifth, sixth generation, Kaby Lake, Ivy Bridge, whatever they call the different generations. M1 is weird. Where do you go from that? Because do you just make the next chip is just M2, or is it M1X?
Well, I think
M1X, M1T, and then is the one, does M designate Mac, 1 designates generation, and then
Yeah.
a suffix that designates performance?
I think so. That's what they do.
That probably
basically
sounds
with-
like they're gonna do.
That's basically what they do with the current like the iPhones and the iPads. I think that
Right.
they do like M1, M1 X, M1Z, M1 Pro Max. But no, I
Oh
think
boy,
they'll-
can't
I
get
think
to it.
that's-
My 13-inch Pro Max.
Yeah.
So here's a super chat, which I disagree with. I think that think of it this way. The 812X is already more powerful than the 13-inch MacBook Pro. It's just a different use case. This, I think, is going to be substantially more powerful than even the most expensive configuration of the 4 Thunderbolt port 13-inch MacBook Pro.
Yeah, I could see it. It's Apple just wanting to come out of the gate swinging. They don't want to
Absolutely.
hold back any of their punches besides the RAM.
They're really holding that punch. Holy Christ.
So I do think it'll be more powerful than any of their Intel offerings currently. It's just, what are you willing to pay for it? I don't think many people are going to be willing to sacrifice that RAM. Like the base users will, I'm sure,
Yeah.
but anyone else, like, they're just going to go for a 16. They're literally just going to go and buy a 16-inch MacBook Pro.
Absolutely. I mean, for a decent number of people, I'm sure they're very annoyed right now because 16 gigabytes of RAM isn't going to cut it. I'm sure the M1 chip will be really, really powerful. I'm sure that I would suspect that in my review, I will be questioning a 16-inch MacBook Pro in terms of horsepower because I suspect that $1,300 MacBook Pro is going to come awful close to that 16-inch at $23.99. But with not as much RAM, not as many storage options, it might end up being a bit of a weird situation.
Yeah. Quick update. It looks like
Yeah.
Apple just released Big Sur release candidate 2.
Oh, nice.
Well, there we go. So we are imminent.
So- There is the imminent release.
I think it's gonna be. It's gonna be a really huge. I personally, I think the second round is gonna be where the designs start getting interesting
hmm
because that's where we're finally gonna get.
The fabled redesign.
The redesign, those curved edges, hopefully mini LED. Because
I'm really hoping for that.
We've been hearing that the iPad Pro will be coming next year, most likely with mini LED, right?
Right. We've got Nick Joshua Block saying for sure Adobe will eventually port their apps to ARM, but it will take time. Their apps are
I'm pretty
running
sure
on
they're
ARM
already
right now.
Yeah, they're already
They're running
done.
on ARM right now. Employees actually have access to pre-release builds that they can run on their iPads right now. They're just not public yet. So, but they all run. Literally, their entire suite runs fine.
Yeah. No, I think a lot of people overestimated how much of a transition this is going to be, quite frankly.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking I'm probably going to edit the Apple Silicon videos on one of these Macs.
Just to kind of get a
Just to
feel
get
for
a
how that
sense of
feels.
it, because I've done some, like the base model 13-inch is doable. This is the Intel 2021. It's doable. Certainly for 1080p stuff with minimal complication, it's not that big a deal. But once you start adding a ton of 4K footage, 8-bit footage, transitions, titles, keyframes, color grading, the MacBook Air is very easily overwhelmed. The MacBook Pro gets overwhelmed. Heck, sometimes even my iMac Pro gets overwhelmed. But with Apple Silicon, it might not be as powerful in terms of benchmarks. Obviously, Apple Silicon is not going to be up to the level of an 18-core iMac Pro. But it doesn't need to be. If you can optimize it to take advantage of every last drop of horsepower, it doesn't necessarily need 18 cores and 128 gigabytes of RAM.
Yeah.
Oh, something else I just realized. What memory is this? DDR4? What speed is the RAM? We don't know.
Yeah, they didn't talk about that either. They didn't talk
It's
about
built
any of that.
in. It's like built into the SoC, so I think it's it may not even be in that same like sort of realm of memory. It may just be
Right,
and
but
they're calling
it's-
it unified
Right.
memory as well.
Unified
so-
memory, but it still has like a clock speed.
True, but it may not.
Yeah, it
And it
might not
still
fall
has-
under a DD. Right. Well, it may not fall under a DDR rating specifically.
Yeah.
Right.
We could still class it close to a DDR rating just by looking at its clock speeds.
And it'll
Sure.
probably use, I mean, I'm sure the memory modules, because like DDR4, like when you buy a stick of RAM, you're buying a standardized block that has some memory modules tacked onto it.
Right.
And so I'm sure that those memory modules aren't vastly different from what is going to be included. Someone said it said DDR4 in the presentation. I don't remember seeing that.
I was
going
gonna say if that
Did it
said
say
that,
that?
I missed it.
It could
I
be
don't
it
think
could
so.
be LPDDR4. I mean, like you can have a RAM standard without having a stick of RAM. Like the MacBook Air, the MacBook Pro, they all have DDR4 RAM, but
It's
they're
just the chips.
modules
It's not right.
on the board. They're not in
Right.
a
What people
True.
DIMM.
try and class it has like the actual DIMM module. That's not what they
Mhm.
class DDR off of. It's the actual memory modules themselves that matter.
Yeah. So I would suspect that that's what it's going to be. Someone in Twitch chat is asking, is it going to be faster than a 16-inch MacBook with a 9980 HK? Well, maybe.
I could see it turboing up that high, maybe.
Maybe not. The MacBook Pro will be able to sustain workloads better than the Air, I would suspect. I'm going to have to test that, and I will. But I think it could get pretty close, legitimately. It's
I'd
crazy.
give it a shot. I could definitely. I'll let it have its chance and see what's up with that, for sure. We've got. I saw it scrolling through Twitch chat a little bit. People are saying the memory management might work kind of like how iOS does, and it manages its memory. So the extra memory that you can't get might not be that big of a deal. Yes and no. To an extent, yes, I can see it for certain workloads, but like if you're doing virtually any intensive workload that require RAM, that optimization basically doesn't matter in this case because you can't just make up that speed with optimization.
Yeah, and I mean, iOS is really great at managing its memory, and that's absolutely true. However, iOS is iOS. This is macOS, and there's no substitute for just more RAM. As you can optimize it very well, and I'm sure they will. But And I'm sure 8 gigabytes on Apple Silicon is a lot better than 8 gigabytes on Intel, but it's still only 8 gigabytes. I mean, I have the 2018 iPad Pro over here, which has the A12X. I don't remember how much RAM it has. Is it 6 gigabytes or 4? I don't recall. But if you open a couple of tabs in Safari, they do reload when you switch back and forth between them. So there's no, even with optimization, you're still going to run into that roadblock. Maybe not on iOS, where you're not going to be multitasking as much, but I mean, like on macOS, you can multitask. You can open as many applications as you want. iOS can manage because you're only having one open at a time, so it can work on your background refresh and memory and caching and all that stuff, but you don't have that same ability with macOS. Also, real quick, someone super chat pointed out that the Mac Mini is no longer available in Space Gray for the Apple Silicon variant, which is a little odd. I don't know why they would do that.
Well, it's not exactly out of Apple's range to just go, you know what? We don't want that color anymore, then just not do it.
Yeah, I could also see it also being sort of like a subtle marketing ploy to draw people to keep buying whatever stock they have left in the Intel versions.
Maybe.
Gotta have some level of distinction, even if it means color, right?
Yeah, and I mean the Intel one is still available. I don't think they've changed the prices on that.
No,
Yeah,
best
it's
I can tell, it
basically
looks the same.
Which leaves you the same upgradable RAM. So I think there might still be a case to be made for the Intel Mac Mini, to be honest.
Definitely.
I personally don't think there's a case to be made for the 13-inch Intel MacBook Pro. I don't think it's worth it. Even with extra RAM, I mean, I always sort of didn't recommend the 4 Thunderbolt port model going all the way back to 2018 when they gave that one quad cores. And I was like, that's really good, but, you know, once the quad cores got in the 2 Thunderbolt 3 port models, it's like, all right, don't even bother with the higher end one. Like, you don't need it. It's not necessary, especially now that the performance is going to be better on the lower end ones, most likely.
Right, exactly. Like, I can see if you need the upgradable RAM, then just go with a 16-inch. Cut the losses. Go with the 16-inch, and then come hopefully at least WWDC of next year, they'll have the 16-inch out with more RAM options. But like, if you need that computer right away and you can't do without more than 16, then definitely just cut your losses, go with the 16-inch. Sure, you might be losing out on some of that ARM performance, but what are you going to do? Like,
yeah. Some people are asking, let me see if I can find this. Should you return this MacBook? I'm assuming like a 2020 recently purchased 13-inch Pro or Air. I would say yeah. If you have any of the direct predecessors to these things that you just bought within the return window, which usually when there's a new product, they'll give you an extra couple weeks. So like, if you in the last 4 weeks, let's say, bought a base model 13-inch MacBook Air or Pro, I would go see if you could trade it in next week. Even though, I mean, think about it this way. Visually, you might not notice a difference. Financially, you might not notice a difference because they didn't touch the pricing, which I'm disappointed in. But why would you not just go in and get better battery life, cooler performance, possibly longer software support, and more power? Might as well.
Yeah, like if
Why
you
not?
have the option, I don't see any reason not to,
Plus you can buy, plus you can use the iOS app for Among Us, so you don't have to buy it on Steam for $5. So it'll save you $5.
This is true. After your wallet takes the hit of buying that Mac again.
Well, I mean, if you're exchanging it, in theory, you wouldn't be spending any extra.
No, in theory you wouldn't be, but I'm sure it doesn't feel good to click buy again, even if you aren't spending any extra,
Yeah.
Well, I don't think you'd even have to click buy again. If you go into the Apple Store next week when they're available and you just say, hey, I
That's
have
true.
this, can I just swap it out?
Just swap it for a...
They'll do it. People
That's
have done
true.
that a lot of time. Usually within about a month of a new generation coming out, they'll swap it for you. So if you did just buy, if you bought an Intel one of these Macs recently, number one, why did you do that? I told you not to do that. That
been
was
telling you
not
for
smart
months.
of you to do that. Number two, yeah, go exchange it. If you bought one in September, then quite frankly, you kind of deserve it because we've been saying this for so long. So if you bought it like a month ago and they won't exchange it, then you need to just live with your actions for the next couple of years
You knew what
and
you were doing.
realize that you should have listened to us. Yeah, no, there are genuinely so many people that will comment on my Apple Silicon videos where I'm like, don't buy one, it's coming soon, just wait. And they'll be like, all right, so I just went out and I bought an Intel MacBook Pro, and I was like, what is this cognitive dissonance going on here? This doesn't make any sense. Okay, so
We've got Kaz
Yeah.
in Twitch chat. I bought this one 2 days ago. Bad. Why? Why did you do that?
2 days
Go
ago? Okay,
exchange it.
2 days
you
ago.
will be able to exchange it.
Yeah. good
And
thing
if
you're
you don't
exchanging, though.
exchange it, I might burst a capillary in my brain because you like, why in the world would anyone voluntarily get the worst model? Also, wait, 2 days ago you knew this event was gonna happen.
Right, that's what I'm saying. You knew this was happening.
What were you thinking?
Like,
Oh
Apple
my
had
goodness.
announced the event long before 2 days ago.
Good grief!
Come on, guys.
Wow.
Oh.
All right. Well, I've got to make this video here. Well, two of them. The question is,
Yeah,
what
go for
two videos should I make? So I'm thinking of doing like a here's what's new video and sort of going over the different ones, and then doing more of like a free form sort of are the Apple Silicon Macs worth it, and sort of talking about there's these new changes, but is it enough? Should you buy them? Should you wait longer? So
I
think
definitely think that's a video that needs to happen sooner than later, especially because this is a very confusing launch for people.
Mhm.
I think so. Having some level of clarity would be nice.
Yeah. All right. I think that's a good plan. So I'll do an overview and I'll talk about what's new, explain the differences, and then I'll do another video just sort of freeform my thoughts on whether or not it's worth it. Should you wait even longer? I think that's a big question that people are going to have.
Definitely.
Because a lot of people have been waiting for this, and then now are like, oh, wait, do I need to wait longer? And they honestly, maybe.
Yeah, I wasn't
Maybe
going
you
to say
do.
that originally, but you might. You really
Yeah.
might. Yeah, 100%.
I mean,
depending on your workflow.
Do you think that we could? Do you think that we should expect in the next year a 14-inch MacBook Pro?
After what they did with this one, I doubt it. I doubt it highly.
So no 14-inch.
I'm not going to say 14 this year or next. Like I'm just not seeing it. They decided to keep the current 13-inch around. It wouldn't make much sense for them to put this brand new powerful chip into a 13 just to kill it off in a year. You know?
So the big question, I guess, is when the heck are they going to give us a new design?
Yeah, definitely.
Because quite frankly, design shouldn't matter. If you're buying a MacBook, it shouldn't be because the bezels are thin or because it looks pretty. In theory, that's not what it's all about. But we'd be lying to you if we said that we didn't care about it. You'd be lying to yourself
People
if you
care.
said that
Yeah.
you didn't care about it.
Like, people freaked out when they thought there was going to be that 4-camera arrangement on this year's iPhones, and then they switched it up towards 3 cameras, flash top, LiDAR bottom, and people were like, "Oh my God, that's so much better." But in all reality, it shouldn't matter.
Yeah.
But we still care.
Yeah. And so and also, you know, when there's a redesign, it's not just the looks that change. We're talking about, Apple Silicon allowing a thinner device, maybe allowing Face ID and rounded corners and a more iPad Pro-like design with ProMotion. So it's not just the design that would change when you have a new generation like that. And so I guess this makes you wonder, when is the next generation?
Right.
Like, I know that they're calling this a generation internally, but when is the next design generation for...
Yeah, the next like physical generation of Mac. Like you can look
Yeah.
at it from a distance and go, that one is an ARM and that one is an older Intel.
Yeah, or not even that, but like, oh, that's the new MacBook Pro. Because I
Right.
mean, the long and the short of it is, when you really look at it, most people won't be able to tell the difference between a 2016 Touch Bar 13-inch MacBook Pro and a brand new Apple Silicon latest and greatest device. And we are now past the usual design generation for
Like the usual
Macs.
refresh window for that.
Usually they're on a 4-year cycle.
Right.
So we're now beyond that. They extended it with the 16-inch when they made some minor design tweaks, but they did not extend those design changes to the 13-inch Pro and Air, which are largely the same. But I just don't know. It seems weird. It's hard to know when the right time is.
Definitely.
All right, well, I'm going to let you guys go because I got to stay in this chair and film 2 more videos. So yeah, what did you guys think? Let's give your final take on this event. We'll start with
Honestly,
Noah.
Start with Noah. Sweet.
My final take, I don't know. I mean, I'm very excited. I think it's a good start for the Apple Silicon chips. I guess I was honestly hoping for somewhat of a redesign, or at least that it would look a little bit distinctive. I get that they're reusing supply lines and all that, and it's probably more environmentally friendly and whatever. But I was hoping for a little bit more of a redesign. But honestly, like, we came for the Apple Silicon, and I think we got something good. And I look forward to seeing it in the more pro products that we'll hopefully get next year. Really looking forward to that.
That's a good point. This is the starting point for Apple Silicon.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Is I did enjoy the event. Obviously, cinematics, great as always.
Mm-hmm.
They've just knocked it out of the park this year with the way that they're doing their events. But I was hoping for at least a minor design refresh, whether that be rounding off the display bezels to more fit Big Sur, that type of thing. But all in all, it is what we did. We came for an ARM Mac like they promised, and they delivered. And looking into the future, I think it's got a really strong position within their Pro lineup, especially with the performance they're delivering on their first go. Like, that's what people have to keep in mind, is that the performance for a first generation ARM Mac is insane, just given what we've seen.
Yeah.
So, who's to say that they won't unlock even more performance in a 16-inch iMac and got the 16-inch MacBook Pro, the iMac, and into the future, the Mac Pro,
Absolutely. One big takeaway that I think we can all agree on is, for most people, it's worth waiting for the reviews
Definitely.
to see if the battery life and the performance are worth buying into, especially with the design and the pricing unchanged. So, of course, I mean, I'm assuming that most people watching this stream are subscribed to the channel, and
if you're
as
not,
you
what are
well
you doing?
know,
Come on.
yeah, I mean, come on.
Come on.
So, you might want to turn on notifications because there's going to be a lot of videos. I'm going to be very, very busy next weekend. So yeah, I think it's going to be exciting. I also think it's interesting that I think the reason that they pushed these ship dates until next week is probably because the iPhones are coming on Friday. Or wait, no, they didn't ship it. They didn't push it to next week, like the end of the week. They pushed it to. Let me open my calendar here. So they pushed it to next Tuesday, Wednesday is when they'll start shipping. So that's when I'll have a video go up. I'll have videos. I'll probably do same day unboxing of all 3 of them, and then I'll break it down into more detailed videos of that. Noah, you need to make some videos about programming for Apple Silicon and Big Sur. That's your assignment. Okay?
I should do some things.
And that's why you need to buy one of them.
Well, I just bought one for you, so now I can't.
Well, maybe you've bought it, and then maybe instead of me paying you back, I'll just ship you the MacBook, and then it's just yours.
Well, you're coming home for
Thanksgiving,
you better come for break, so we'll figure it out.
We shall see. Yeah. So thank you everyone for watching. Go subscribe to Noah. You can look him up. I don't feel like putting it in the chat. Noah Rubin
the tennis player.
says it on the screen. Not the tennis player. But go look for Noah's videos. Now you can finally make more than one video per fiscal quarter.
Yeah.
Here, I'll put it in the chat, Noah. What's it called?
I'll put it in the chat.
What is it? YouTube.com/
I changed it. It's actually Noah. It's /Noah Rubin coding.
Noah Rubin coding.
Yep,
Okay,
that works.
I'm gonna put that in both of the chats. Noah put it in the chat too. There we go. Go follow at Gioriku on Twitter for some more leaks and stuff. And yeah, so that's Gioriku. And then let me find Noah's. And then there's Noah. So those are go follow these folks. Make sure you are subscribed and be on the lookout for videos today, tomorrow, and Thursday, and next week.
Busy week, boys. Busy week.
Busy week.
Busy week.
All right. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you in the